into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we are here on our Sunday morning tradition that continues on into our 15th year. At the end of this season, it will be 16. There we go. All right. So that being said, it is week number 3 of the NFL, and I've just been, they call me the hardest working man in sports radio because I've been working hard. I've got doing a lot of things. Thursday night football, working 12-hour day yesterday. I mean, I've just been doing it all. That being so I don't necessarily have everything that I normally have ready to go because last night it was all about sleep to get ready for today's show. That being said, of course, that's the name of the show. Catch us every Sunday, 9 to noon throughout the season here. We'll be on each and every week, and we'll bring on the guy sitting, usually when I'm looking at the screen, he's on my right. Sometimes he's on my left. It depends if I'm going to move it around or not. I don't know. But I've decided that I'm just going to keep this intro. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to do anything different. I'm just going to bring in the Podfather. Good morning, Podfather. How are you this morning?
What's going on, Sonny? I'll tell you one thing. After last week, I mean, we all come across like we're football experts and that we know it all and that we think we figured this league out. And then week 2 happens.
Yeah.
And, oh my
1 and
God.
2, horrible.
I mean,
horrible for everybody.
I mean,
trying to figure things out.
all of us did horrible.
Yeah. So,
Jesus.
I'm
the Niners lost, the Cowboys lost, the Eagles lost. I mean, it was just mayhem last week. But here we are, week 3. I think we can clearly say we don't know who's right and who's wrong in this league right now because it's still relatively too early. I mean, we have an idea, but I mean, let's face it. I mean, once they get there on the field and they start putting up 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, we're like, well, there goes that. So it's not been a great week.
A strange week, and mainly because is when you're looking at the records of teams that you thought would be good or didn't think that would be good. How do you say it? The nonsense that I've been looking at as far as that is concerned is unbelievable. And that's because Pittsburgh's 2-0. I don't think anybody in their life thought Pittsburgh would be 2-0 if they were really, really honest with themselves. But now, Cincinnati and the North being 0-2 and Baltimore 0-2, right. I mean, my God.
Right. Now I will say this: I did have the Cowboys being 1-1. Just I had both games flipped. So I mean, it is right. What it is. I mean, some things hold true to form, and
just got the wrong game.
Yes, exactly. But no, I mean, it was. The thing is that going into this week, again, I always look at the NFL. The NFL week 1 is like this. That's the first game a lot of starters start playing because a lot of them don't sit. A lot of them have to sit there in preseason. So we're still getting their feet wet from underneath them, and then all of a sudden we think, oh, that's the end all be all. That's how it's going to be, and all of a sudden, Deshaun Watson says, no, not quite, or Kyler Murray says, no, I'll throw my new rookie, and then all of a sudden, there goes that. So, it's one of those things where we don't know what we have until week 4 or 5, and we're still within those weeks of who is everybody.
And when that happens, I think will be around week 4 when we'll figure out what team is not and not. Buffalo 2-0. The Jets are 2-1. They get the victory on Thursday night. The Chargers 2-0. Kansas City 2-0. No big surprise. As far as that, Minnesota though being 2-0 without their quarterback. You still have
Sam Darnold.
Exactly. Sam Darnold, where they are. The Bears 1-1. I don't know if I expected any different. 1-1 is probably where it is because I did pick them on one game this week within the pick 'em. But New Orleans 2-0. Tampa Bay 2-0. It turns out that the NFC South might be a very interesting division. The NFC East with your Dallas Cowboys 1-1, along with Philadelphia and Washington both 1-1. Seattle on top of the West 2-0. Arizona 1-1. San Francisco 1-1. And the Rams 0-2. And that right there is probably the big one because everybody was giving a push on the Rams. So Rams are going to be good this year. They're going to be better. They're going to be this. They're going to be that. Well, they're not, and that's where we sit as far as the standings in the NFL. So, interesting week so far, or interesting first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But that being said, excuse me, I had coffee. That now, I do have someone I'm going to bring on here really quick. I found this guy, cruising the internet. And he's going to be talking about the AFC North. Take a look here.
AFC North, we need to talk.
Yeah, what's going on? What's up?
What the hell is this?
Oh, that. I don't see a problem with it.
Your standings are literally upside down. The two teams that people thought might be Super Bowl contenders from this division are both 0-2. What is going on? In our defense, we've both had to play the Chiefs on the road in the first 2 weeks of the season. That's as hard as it gets.
Okay, what about the other games?
Well,
honestly, I'd rather not talk about it. You dorks lost to the Patriots and the Raiders. How embarrassing.
Okay, sorry we can't all have a Charmin soft schedule to open the season. You guys face Kirk Cousins, whose Achilles is held together by Elmer's glue and the power of friendship, and Bo Nix, who's going to be selling used cars with Bryce Young in 2 years.
That's crazy. Imagine criticizing someone for the quality of their wins when you don't have any. What's that saying? Never met a hater doing better than me? Man, reality is going to hit you guys like a truck in a few weeks.
You haven't even hit 20 points in a game yet, and you're relying on a quarterback who wasn't good enough for Chicago.
It's only a matter of time before we catch up to you.
Hey, we're the least of your problems. You got to worry about catching Cleveland first.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize they were here.
Cleveland, why are you being so quiet?
We plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth about what?
We're just going to let the whole process play out before commenting.
What are you talking about? Is this just what happens when Deshaun Watson's your quarterback for long enough? Your entire vocabulary becomes evasive legal jargon?
Oh yeah, Deshaun got accused of doing more weird stuff.
Again? Man, can you guys just get rid of him and go back to being regular losers instead of gross, ignorant losers? It's not even like he's worth it. The dude sucks.
We are going down with this ship.
How very Browns of you.
They're above us in the standings.
Yeah, we need to fix that.
I just saw that. I just thought it was funny. So I thought I'd put it up. And that also being said, last week when we went to our break, we had Annie Agar do her little bit. We're going to do that again when we do our break. So we'll bring her in on her look at week number 2, where they are in the NFL. We'll do that. So when we warm up our coffee, we can throw that on there and get going. I'll probably be, warming up my coffee anyway. But that being said, so I have to ask about that. You and your Dallas Cowboy realism that you got going on. What do you think about getting absolutely destroyed by the Saints? I know Z and his mom are very happy about it, especially since they paid all that money to go see the game. They got a victory. But what was your take upon that game as far as the Saints and the Cowboys were concerned last week?
Dude, they weren't expecting that.
Nope.
And here's the thing. The Saints have caught everybody off guard. I mean, they've won 2 games in a row with the scoring over 40 points. Derek Carr looks like a freaking, franchise player to go get. I mean, Alvin Kamara, look, he's always been great, but he's always been great in spurts. He's starting off early right now, so that's a good thing for him. Hopefully it carries on until he gets hurt, because that's going to happen. But, yeah. No, I mean, right now the Saints are really high end. Here's the thing, Dallas, okay, I made the quote that the Cowboys are 16-0, playing the Death Star until they had the playoff game last year, right?
Right.
And, well, now since the playoff game, they have gotten shelled by both the Packers and the Saints, so they're 0-2. So if you continually go with that, all of a sudden the Death Star's not the best place to play in right now. And, I mean, Dallas couldn't figure it out on offense. They definitely couldn't figure it out on defense. They got no running game, which we all already know.
Yes.
And unfortunately, when you can't have a running game, good luck trying to formulate a passing game because you have nothing to offset each other. Which is why, my pick later on for the Ravens will make a lot more sense, even though they're probably the worst NFL defensive receiving team as far as defend the pass. But then again, when you don't have a running game, that's all you have to look forward to. So it's this is what Jerry did. I mean, Jerry had all the time in the world to find the right ingredients for this team, and he decided to wait till August. He decided to wait till the last minute to say, okay, well, it needs a little bit of this now, and needs a little bit of that, needs a little. Well, we needed a little bit of that back in, I don't know, April, May. But you decided to let everybody go off the board, and you picked up Dalvin Cook, who hadn't even seen the NFL. You hadn't seen an NFL play yet. So, yeah, good luck with that. And again, I hate the argument of, well, you're paying Dak Prescott X amount of dollars, why they should, guess what? You can pay anybody X amount of dollars, they're not going to go 16 and out or 17 and out. It's rare. It's very, very rare. Only 2 people have done it. It's just at least had undefeated seasons. But even Brady didn't have an undefeated season because he couldn't win the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's a week-to-week thing. This league is a week-to-week thing. We saw it last week. We did not expect what happened to the Niners against the Vikings. We didn't expect the Eagles to do that in their game. So, are the Saints for real? Maybe. I mean, like you said, the NFC South, them and the Bucks right now are pretty much head and shoulders above the rest of the division right now. But again, the Saints have put over 40 points in 2 games. Now, granted, they played Carolina and the Cowboys, but still, I mean, wins are wins, and those outcomes right now are almost true outcomes right now because they're showing they can score on offense, defense, everywhere else. So, kudos to them. As for the Cowboys, look, they're lucky they play the Giants and Washington, and even right now, even the Eagles, because you don't know what to go with the Eagles. So, again, the NFC least is pretty much what it is, and can the Cowboys compete in this division? They can, but will they? That's a whole other question because you don't have the manpower in the backfield to do what you have to do. I'm sorry, I love Zeke to death, but as a 29-year-old player who looks like he's 36, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And who he has behind him, I couldn't tell you. So good luck with that.
Are you worried about the defense?
Yeah. Only because
I think you got to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to because once the team finds your weakness, trust me, everybody who's got to play the Cowboys this year is watching that Saints game over and over and over and finding because they're not going to find the weaknesses in the Browns game. They're going to find it in the Saints game. So it's going to be up for Dallas and Zimmer and all them to sit there and go, okay, here's where we screwed up. Here's where we fix it. I got news for you. This same thing would have happened under Dan Quinn.
Oh, I agree.
Okay. I mean, it's not just a Zimmer thing. It's a mindset right now, and that mindset, especially being at home, maybe a little bit of being too cocky for yourself, thinking maybe they took the Saints too lightly. I don't know.
That's exactly what I think. I thought they took them way too lightly, and that's where they ended up. And good, bad, or indifferent. Zimmer, you can say whatever you want about Zimmer. That guy's a quality coach, regardless of what happened. The guy's still got to go out and make those plays before people start. And by the way, I don't think it's necessarily a wrong thing to come down on Zimmer, but at the same time, I think what you got to do is you got to see they were at home. I'm going to be honest. They thought what I thought last week. I thought they would blow them out because why? Because they haven't been playing worth a nickel for a long time. And guess what? When you don't play good for a long time, the expectations of another football team that's supposedly good, that being the Dallas Cowboys, they just got overconfident in what they've seen, and they got their asses handed to them just like they deserve. So, it's going to be real interesting how the rest of the year plays out for them and how that will work moving forward. If there is a chance for them, and I say chance for the whole season, they got to start doing it, and they got to start doing it today. And it's gonna be a tough game for them. By the way, okay, here are the standings. I was able to get those up right now. Bryce is up on top by one game. And this does include Thursday. Good to see you, Matt Alvarez. I hope you're feeling better. And I saw that you were walking around. Yeah, I kind of haunt your what do they call it? I stalk your Facebook. I see how you're doing. I'm glad you're doing much better, my friend. But here's the standings. Up on top with one game, that being the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's Bryce. My brother Fred is behind him. Then Obi is behind him. And Podfather, you're behind him. So I'm down the list a little bit. I've got a little work to go. I'm six up from the lead. And and I'm 3 behind you, which I'm not very happy about, but we'll see happen because this week I've determined I am going to have a good week. I don't care what anybody says. So I'm all set and ready to roll for this week.
I think all of us are having that mindset after last week. Because after last week, none of us. I mean, there were certain games that all of us picked straight across the board.
Right.
And when to see us come up with a loss right there, we're going, that didn't help. So.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
But it was funny though because I remember finishing out Sunday, right? And I threw it out there in our group. I said, boy, is anybody thinking about changing their pick on the Eagle game against Atlanta? And
no one did.
Only one person had Atlanta. But I remember Greg came across on there and said, no, the Eagles are going to kill them.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, well, sure. I mean, I agree with you. I think that would have happened because, as the guy said on the video, Kirk Cousins is being held together by Elmer Glue right now. So,
right.
We'll see what happens. But
he needs Gorilla Glue, not Elmer's Glue, is what he needs.
Well, whatever it is, I mean, and look, they got an impressive win last week. So, and again, are we seeing the Eagles of last year where once they get their confidence rocked a little bit, they start to diminish? Because last year they were riding high until they started losing.
So, also in that Cowboy game, Derek Carr gets fined for doing the Michael Jackson crotch put move. I don't know. At some point, if it's acceptable for Michael Jackson to do internationally, why can't Derek Carr do it without getting fined? It's unbelievable.
Time out. There was a lot of things that Michael Jackson was doing that was probably not okay with a lot of people. So.
I am only talking about just the crotch drab by Derek Carr. I'm not talking about anything else. Don't make it worse than what it is. Oh, look who's in the green room. Let's bring him on in. Oh, I thought you were going to shave your head. I really honestly thought you were going to take that shot. By the way, your picture looks much better this week. Good to see you. Obi, how you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed. I tried to get some tickets to the Cardinals-Lions game for the wifey today, and it just didn't work out today.
Oh, it is insane to try to get tickets on game day or even 2 days before trying to get in there.
I tried Sunday night, and the only tickets they had were like very last row at the very top. Like
I did that on the Super Bowl. I went to the Super Bowl. I was on the top end and I was in the end zone. But I can say I went to the Super Bowl. So there you go. But also that game was at the Super Bowl. That was at ASU Stadium.
When the Steelers and Cowboys played?
Yeah, but I didn't see. But here was the click of that. Okay, all right. I didn't get into the stadium until after the first quarter. So, and I still only got the high ticket. Still cost me a couple of bills, but I wanted to say I went to it. So, and I had the money set to the side. So, there we go. Yeah. I can honestly say that. But that being said, your football team is 1-1. But I mean, why is the goofy smile? Here comes the Obi goofy smile. There's something that whenever I see this, that means I'm going to get wisdom from you, and it's gonna be funny. What's the snicker about?
I think the Podfather and I were on the same page last week when at the end of Sunday night. I mean, the game that I thought the Browns should have and should have won, they got blown out. Mm-hmm. And the game that was like, I don't know, I just feel like, and then they come out and they play like game busters and beat your Jaguars last week.
No big surprise.
So I mean, we're gonna see today's game. I can't wait until we talk about it.
Oh man,
it's gonna be short. It's gonna be short and sweet. Just put it that way.
Interestingly enough, also just to kind of keep everybody apprised on what's going on, the Chargers and the Steelers are both 2-0. They meet today, and the Houston Texans and Minnesota Vikings. They are both 2-0. The rest of this, no one's doing like an undefeated against undefeated. So I'm very interested. One of those, two of those teams are going to come out with a loss today, and two teams are going to be 3-0 on the season. And I still don't know who it's going to be. That's why I had to come in here. I got my initial pick set, but I do not feel comfortable about the Charger game and my pick. So we'll be talking about that when we get that. Where is Cuervo? Cuervo, I talked to Cuervo 5 minutes before the show, and then what time is it? 9:23. He better be getting some damn good coffee. By the way, when my coffee's empty, but it's Bavarian hazelnut today. From Cafe Olay, so black coffee, right?
No. This is Pike's Place from Starbucks.
Oh, yes, yes.
But I added some chocolate creamer. There you go.
See, chocolate and coffee don't mix. Listen to me.
They do.
I mean, all the shit I have all the time, but no, coffee and chocolate. I don't know. And I don't think you don't drink coffee, do you?
I'm not a huge coffee drinker now.
Yeah, so you see, I think. Oh, wow!
Speak of are you like devil. A Red Bull guy?
What?
A Red Bull guy?
No, I can't do Red Bull because I don't know. When I was a truck driver, I would try that stuff. I actually feel my heart jumping out of my chest as I was driving.
So he told me about that when we were at a football thing. We were talking about Red Bull, and I even remember what he was talking about. But see, when we were together, he was more dramatic. He was like, my heart was like this. So, anyway, that being said.
Hey, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun driving on I-40 going to Memphis, having your heart going hello.
Yeah,
I am here, by the way. In case you didn't know it, I'm here. Hey, it reminds me of that little dog in the. And I know I'm aging myself, but the little dog and the big dog in the cartoon, where the little dog's bouncing around the big dog, going, "Hey, let's go get some." That's what. Whenever he did it, that's what it reminded me. Oh, he comes in the green room, then he gets off of camera. I'll tell you, I'll wait. Fashionably late, but I'll wait. So, by the way, his connection was really good last week. So, I don't know what he did, but what? Speaking of, you can't see me. I see him. Oh wait, I gotta hit this button right here. There he is. I can see you, and I'm boom. There he is. How you doing, Cuervo? Good to see you, my friend.
Good. How's my connection today?
Oh, your connection last week, by the way, I meant to tell you in case you just didn't hear, was awesome last week. So you're whatever you're doing, do it. I can send you, if you would like, I can send you a 50-foot Ethernet cord that could go from wherever your modem is. You just click it and put it in there, and then it would even be better. But that's okay. We're good. You're looking good. wearing 54 this morning, Mr. Brian Urlacher this morning. You must feel like you're ready to eat and eat and eat. But that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. I got something special for Cuervo. By the way, I got what we were talking about. I do got that up and ready to go for this week. What we talked about off air. But I got this just for Cuervo.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another edition of Dave Swirsky's Superfans Game Previews and Predictions. The season feels like it's screaming on true as we head into another matchup for our beloved team, the Bears, in week 3 of the NFL season against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, as you might be able to tell from my voice, the Swersk is not feeling so great. You know why? Because I am allergic to the leucine. That's right, we lost last Sunday, and then right after that I started to feel like crap. So I'm trying to make it true for us all. So bear with me if you will. Bears. A win would surely cure what ails this superfan. This game Sunday is away at Indianapolis, and all time the Colts lead this here series by 25 wins to the Bears 19. Our coach, Buffalo's pre-bearded last coaching stint before taking over the greatest franchise in the history of sports was at Indianapolis as the defensive coordinator. The Bears come into this matchup at 1-1, while the Colts are 0-2. So with all that in mind, here is my prediction for the game. Caleb Williams finally throws his first touchdown pass, and it will be to DJ Moore. The defense dominates the Colts and holds all of those offensive weapons in check. Final tally, Bears 156, Colts zip. Let's go! Enjoy the game, my friends. Say it with me, the Bears.
Bears. Just for you, my friend. I saw that, and he does one weekly too. I just might have to do that for each and every.
You know what's funny about that, Sonny, is I got the same score for that game.
Oh,
I don't know how he figured it out, but I got the same score.
That mental thing. You guys are right here. So.
Yep. We all think alike.
I'm checking. Are you doing a parlay where you have the Bears winning? Are they're favored, right?
It's really almost a pick 'em, Obi.
Okay.
I want to say Indy is favored by 1 or 1.5 last time I remember.
All right.
Are they playing Indy?
It's
They
in
are
Indianapolis.
playing in Indy, yes, sir.
Yeah.
They are playing in Indy.
So you're probably taking the Bears with the points and over whatever the total point. If you have 156 to nothing.
The Bears are getting 1.5 right now. So that's what I just looked it up. Take that 1.5. The Bears, if they get into 1 point.
Also the favorite, okay.
Yeah, so let's talk about it since we got him here, and we're already talking about it. The Bears. I'm sorry, I get a little. Yeah, Indianapolis. But here's the thing about Indianapolis. Not that they're a Jekyll and Hyde yet, for being what you can see in him or them for the whole year. The first 2 games, they have been Jekyll and Hyde for the first 2 games. They've been hot. They've been cold. Richardson, he plays well. He's not. Is he hurt? I don't know. And there's still a lot of questions regarding that on if he is hurt or not. So when you're looking at this game, Cuervo, your Bears, I've been looking at all the experts, and not too many people are feeling good about the Chicago Bears. So I'm going to ask you, why should we feel good about your Bears going into this game against Indianapolis on the road?
I mean, so it sounds kind of cheesy and cliche, but I think you should feel good about the Bears today because of health. So, like, for example, I'm talking on the Colts side. They're down a few key players. DeForest Buckner got put on IR just a couple days ago. So he's not going to be around for a little bit. And then their first-round draft pick, Latu, I can't remember how to say his first name, but that UCLA linebacker, it doesn't sound like he's going to play either. And those are like their 2 key defensive guys. And then, offensively, look, everybody wants to anoint Anthony Richardson is, one of the next hot names at quarterback in the league. But then, he goes and he plays like he did last Sunday in Green Bay, and we're kind of like, is he a guy that can, take his game to the next level? And we're not sure. So that's why I think you should feel good about the Bears. I think the things that are wrong with the offense that we've seen, first of all, I really wanted to strap in, but I'm not going to do it. It's because it's the same issues we've had for years. True Bear fans know that while getting guys like Keenan Allen, drafting Romo Dunze, that sounded great and all, but you're still not addressing what the real problem is and has been for years. And that's having an offensive line that doesn't look like Swiss cheese. And it's the same problem. And look, I'm like a lot of Bear fans. I'm like, here we go again. It's nothing has changed. Nothing is different. Nothing is improving. And on top of all that, now you got a guy in Shane Waldron, that offensive coordinator, that is allergic to running the football. So we have to run the ball today, or else the Bears are in trouble. They have to establish the run some way, somehow.
And when you can't establish the run, that becomes a big time. But I saw some, video where they strapped in on your offensive lineman, where this dude looked like he was completely lost, like he did not know the playbook. And that doesn't help, especially, never mind the running game. That doesn't do any good, especially when you're trying to get Caleb Williams to become, the international superstar that everybody thinks he's going to be. So that offensive line has got to get better. They are horrible. But that being said, I want to back up to the game when they played on Sunday night. I guess I'm going to ask the quarterback for the Houston Texans, Stroud, did he little brother Caleb Williams? And then when you answer that question, Cuervo, I want you to answer one more. What the hell does that mean?
Okay. So which one you want? You want the meaning of that first?
Yeah. So I know what the hell they're talking. I see it, and I'm not. I don't even get it. Little brothering. I don't. Is it a disrespect thing or?
No. Okay. So when because I'm assuming you heard CJ Stroud say, "Oh, I wasn't trying to little bro him." So
right.
When you little bro somebody, that means like you're trying to like give him advice, be a mentor or something like that. That's what that means.
Got it. Okay, so it wasn't derogatory.
Stroud was saying, Stroud was trying to say, I wasn't trying to give him advice or be like, hey man, it's gonna, you just make sure you do this and that, and make sure you trying to tell him how to play the position or how to,
gotcha.
kind of like that type of thing. But Stroud was saying that he didn't do that, and I don't believe so either, because when you listen to what they were saying, it was just more kind of like, hey,
encouragement. I thought
keep doing what you're doing. You're going to be a star.
Come to you.
It wasn't like, hey, I noticed you did this wrong. Hey, make sure you do this next time. That's when you little bro somebody.
Gotcha.
Well, it didn't really help the fact that Caleb kept looking at the scoreboard going, yeah, whatever. Just kind of like shrugged him off a little bit. So that's kind of where the may have been disrespect more on Caleb's part than on CJ Stroud. But then again, I think that's just the immaturity of Caleb Williams right now. So,
I think a lot of people think that he was kind of shrugging him off and trying to walk away when he was trying to talk to him.
No, he did. Okay, I'm sorry. I watched it. He did. And by the way, just to let you know, he listened for a little bit, and then he was done. It reminded me, and I'm sorry to do this to you, Cuervo, but it reminded me of one Ryan Leaf. It really did. He kind of, I don't need your advice. Get the hell out of my face. Here, I'll read this and throw it. It's that attitude, and that attitude I don't think you want to see right now. But, it is only that, this is my problem. Okay, I'm going to blast the guy because he's a rookie, and guess that's just what it is. But it is only the second game, for God's sake. I've never seen anybody. It was Colin Cowherd is already ready to set this guy to the side, and I saved the video so that when he comes back and says Caleb Williams is really a really good quarterback, I can have him right back together to see his flip flop on him. And I hope that happens for you, Cuervo, by the way.
Oh, well, same here. No, and trust me, he's not the only one. I mean, maybe I just punish myself, but reading people's comments on social media and all that, I mean, everybody's ready to just shoot him to the freaking moon and forget he even existed as a quarterback. And it's like,
he's
man,
not Jamarcus Russell, okay?
Let's stop with that, please.
Let's stop with the nonsense, because that was what triggered that whole thing. When I saw this, like, good Lord, are you kidding me? Jamarcus Russell, by the way, he's a coach at a high school, and he got someone to donate money to the school, and he ended up stealing more than half of it. So, hey, way to go, Jamarcus. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But, I just think you got to be able to give these side, especially they're throwing them to the Wolves. It's not like he's Aaron Rodgers. Okay, it's not like he's Jordan Love, who got to sit behind their quarterback and actually learn the game from the sideline. There's something to be said about that. But when there's millions and millions of dollars online, Cuervo, they're expecting magic right away. And I even said it before the season started. It's unrealistic to expect this from Caleb Williams.
Well, yeah, it's unrealistic, but it's the reality of it. And you can't help but blame the media for it in reality. And that sounds like a cop out, or kind of like
it's partially a cop out.
But because he said he was supposed to be the next generational talent. He's supposed to be, one of the highest rated guys to come out of college since Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence. And he's, he's just going to be the savior in Chicago. And look, do we all want that? Absolutely, we want that. But you got to let
right now he's in Bradford.
You got to let it play out first, man. Like, let's slow down with the expectations and remember that he's a rookie that's played 2 games in the National Football League.
Yes.
The
only thing I think is funny though, Cuervo, the only thing which you probably shouldn't have said, we're not going to be punting very much. Well, your kicker is one of the most active kickers in the NFL after 2 weeks. So
I wish he would slow down with the comments. That is one thing that is starting to grind my gears a little bit. All these. I made 2 big mistakes, and that ain't going to happen again. Yes, it is, dude.
Yes,
you're going to throw more interceptions. You're going to turn the ball over again. You're not going to go the rest of the season without creating some sort of turnover, whether you throw another pick or you get hit and you fumble the ball. Like, stop. Just stop. Be real with yourself. Be humble, dude.
Exactly. Got you there. You're in the big screen.
I gotta see that. Quick question, Cuervo. I got a chance to watch a little bit of the game at work, and I saw at the very end when he threw when he lost pass out, out of bounds. To me, that I had when I saw the very end of that, where he just did not know what to do.
Well, you were breaking up, so you saw the end of the game. And
I saw the end of the game, and I saw him lob that pass. I'm out of bounds at the end, where either he misread the receiver or the receiver misread him, whichever it is. But he looked lost. He looked extremely lost at that time. Did you see that same look from him?
Yeah, I think it's at a point now where he was anticipating, the offensive line just kind of falling apart, and he felt like he had to rush to get the ball out. So the timing is off a little bit. So if you see the pass, you're talking about the one to DJ Moore right down the sideline, if I'm not mistaken.
The last pass he threw, yeah.
Yeah, and then the interception. I mean, that could have easily gone either way, because it looked like a pretty accurate ball, but he's got to remember, like, this is not Pac-12 defenses he's playing. This is NFL level. This is the best of the best make it to the NFL and play in this league. So, I just think he needs to work on his timing. I think there's a lot of what's wrong with the Bears offense, I think, can be corrected. The only thing, the biggest issue for me is the protection. But, I think in the next couple of weeks, and we may even see it today, I think those throws that you see him overthrow to DJ and the timing's off a little bit, I think you're going to see that get better, because I think you saw improvement from week 1 until last week, and now you got, today to kind of make those corrections and fix what you weren't doing right. So I just think Caleb needs to slow down, man. Like I get it. You're not going to win Super Bowls overnight. Like, this thing's a process. So
what's wrong with Keenan Allen, boss?
He's the same guy. That's why I was never like excited about that trade. Like, okay, yeah, he's a proven veteran in the league, but honestly, Sonny, was I like jumping for joy when that trade happened? Not really.
No, you said you weren't excited at all. You said it was an okay pickup, and I kind of remember that day because I was probably more excited about that pick than you were, but it was really based upon whether or not that guy was going to remain healthy for the whole season, and will he be able to show up?
Right. And here we go. This is the Keenan Allen we all have learned to know, guys. Is he'll play one game and he'll miss 2 games. He might play next week, but all over a heel injury. So, it just, I don't know. Like I always say, the best ability of a football player is the availability. So, that we're not getting that with Keenan Allen right now.
Yeah. So I think that's something that when the Bears get together, when the offense starts clicking and moving and all on the same page, it might get better. I'm not saying, again, I didn't have them in the playoffs, and that no one really should. And the first 2 weeks proves it pretty much, depending unless they go to a full 180, that the expectations can't be playoffs. But moving forward, today's games against Indianapolis, you're right. There are a lot of people on the defensive side of the ball for Indianapolis that are out. However, Richardson, I like what I see in Richardson right now. Again, here's yet another guy who is basically a rookie because he got hurt real early last year. And you see the improvements on where he is right now compared to the few games that we saw in him. But here's the thing, we talked about the running game for the Chicago Bears, Cuervo. The running game for the Indianapolis Colts better be there too, or that's why this is going to be a good game. That's why it's 1.5, and you get that extra half point for that one. You might want to look at the Bears because it might come down to only 1 point at the end of the game.
It could. I mean, it could be a battle of the kickers, like who's got the better kicker and who's gonna make all their kicks or whatever. So there's no telling, but I think the biggest thing for the Bears today to win this game, it comes down to 3 words, and it's gonna be it's an Obi style game in my opinion. Pound the rock. That's what the Bears need to do. Pound the rock, get that run game going, take advantage of the injuries that the Colts have. And really, in reality, you got to get DeAndre Swift going. You don't pay this guy $8 million to have, what has he got so far this year? Like 20 rushes for 50 yards or something like that.
Exactly.
It's disgusting how bad the run game is. And Shane Waldron needs to, stop being so damn pass happy. Run the ball.
Run the ball, run the damn ball. And that being said, he is in the green room. Oh, here you go.
Dig it, sucker.
I can always dig it on a Sunday morning when we get the guy. He is the one, the only. He is definitely a myth. Because one day he'll be doing something, the next day he'll be totally 180. But what is it consistent? It's the best smile on the internet. It's one Bryce from Brooklyn. How you doing, Bryce? Good to see you, my man.
Good to see everybody today. I brought the towel out because we're playing another 2-0 team. 5-star matchup because we're in it.
Hey, you got to be happy with what you're seeing. I don't think that's happy about the record. We'll talk about that game, but we're talking about Bears and Indy and a 1.5 point spread right now, and Indy's given the 1.5. So it's 6-1, half a dozen the other, though, as far as this game is concerned. What is your take, and what do you think you're going to see in today's game as the Chicago Bears are on the road taking on the Colts?
This is an interesting game. First of all, I expect a tight, close-knit game. I think these two teams, in terms of the young quarterbacks, kind of mirror each other, although I think the Colts have a little bit more commitment to Jonathan Taylor and running the football. I think the Colt defense is pretty good, not great, but I think it could be a good defense when they can zero in. I just don't know. The thing with the Bears right now, particularly offensively, is what do the Bears do well? What do they lean on? I don't know. I don't know this team. And look, I haven't watched them consistently, but when I do watch, I don't know what sticks out, like what they're committed to. I know first week, big plays, they were able to take advantage of big plays on special teams and defense. That can be a formula to win. They've used it before, but I just don't know yet if this team has their identity. The rookie quarterback has had, the growing pains that you may get with a rookie quarterback. So I just think right now the Colts are a little bit more defined. We know there's an okay defense there. We know Jonathan Taylor's going to get the ball. We know the rookie, their quarterback, second-year guy, is a unit. I mean, this dude can make plays, 70-yard bombs and all that. I just feel the Colts right now are a little bit further along than the Bears. Cuervo, I'm sorry to break your heart, man. I'm going with the Colts on this one.
Well, I'm going to say this, and now shoot it over to the Podfather. The defense for the Colts are giving up 22 points. The Chicago Bears are only giving up 18. I mean, and that looking good. But where I think the big difference is in reality is they're only giving up 1.5 points in the fourth quarter. That's third best in the NFL, by the way, in case anybody didn't know or watching. And not only that, they don't give up any points, at least in the first two games, in the third quarter. So how's that going to be different when the Colts are only scoring 3 points in the third and maybe a touchdown in the fourth quarter? And I shot that to the Podfather. Yeah, I shot that to you, my friend.
No, man. Look. You mean I hear what you're saying. This is my thing. The Bears held tight up against Houston, but Houston hasn't been the team that we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. We thought they were going to be more lights out. Look, we're going to make a statement this year, and they've kind of gotten by with 2 wins right now. So, to the Bears' credit, they held tight with them. I think a shell-shock Caleb Williams at the end was kind of your nightmare to go through, but then he's going to have that as a rookie because right now the speed of the game is a lot more faster than he got in the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever they're called nowadays. So I really, I agree with Bryce on the pick of the Colts for today, but I agree with Cuervo. They've got a lot of things they got to figure out. I don't think they're going to figure out over the week. I think it's going to take some time. It's going to take about week 8, week 9 before we start seeing some real growth in that offense. And the problem you run into is that when you mentioned normally rookie quarterbacks sit on the bench and let the team's veterans start for a while, and then they replace them. The Bears didn't have that. The Bears really didn't have that this year. So they threw him right into the fire. So what we're seeing out of him is what we're expecting right now, out of a team that is truly rebuilding. And that's the thing. That's no bad thing to say about Chicago. They're just rebuilding, and this is part of it. You're not going to win every game. If you win a game where your quarterback is not so great, what are the other parts around it that's going to be working? I think that's what worked on week 1. Week 2, a little different. A little different situation. You're down in Houston, hostile territory in some cases. A team that's on the up and up is, they're not looking like they're on the up and up right now. They look like they're just kind of getting by. Look, kudos to the Bears for hanging in there. But at the end of the day, a win's a win, a loss is a loss. And going today, they got things to work on, but they got time to work on. For a good period of time. They're not going to fix it this week or next week, but they're going to get it fixed eventually. But give me the Colts.
Okay. All right, you guys got the Colts. So since Sonny stepped out for a minute, I'll kind of try to drive this bus. I'm going to answer Bryce's question. So, what do the Bears do well on offense? Well, it seems to me like what they do well on offense is throw screen passes to Gerald Everett. That's awesome. That's what we hired Shane Waldron for, to throw screen passes to an aging tight end. I love it. That's exactly what we needed. I don't know what to tell you, Bryce. There's not a whole lot that they can do well and that they actually do well, because you need an offensive line to do things well on offense. And that's something that the Bears haven't had since 1985. And I know that's kind of like the running joke when it comes to the Bears, right? Everything's 85. But my point is, the offensive line, it's still the same issue that we've had since, before Matt Eberflus showed up, before Caleb Williams got drafted. It's still the same thing. Yeah, they went to like Food for Less and they shopped, there to go get offensive linemen, while, they went to, a high-end store to get receivers, and they go and they signed DeAndre Swift. And that's great. You still have that. You still have the same problem with the offensive line, and I think it proves that, it don't matter how many weapons you have. It don't matter how good the quarterback is. If you don't have an offensive line to protect those guys and to establish the run, then you really don't have anything. So I know, like that was the issue for a little while in Pittsburgh. It seems to be getting better now, Bryce, when it comes to the O-line. I know it's not perfect, but it seems like it's getting better. And, and the other thing is, going off of what the Podfather mentioned, I have an issue with the whole thing about letting quarterbacks sit and, well, this guy did it and that guy did it. All situations are different, guys. We know that, especially the situation with going from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love in Green Bay. Those were Hall of Fame dudes. Brett Favre was a surefire Hall of Famer when Aaron Rodgers took over. And then when Jordan Love took over, Aaron Rodgers, they sat behind guys that were still playing at a high level. Justin Fields was not playing at a high level, and they decided to move on from him. And now they got Caleb, and number one picks, number one quarterback picks always fail, and because they go to really bad teams. That's why they're the number one pick. Look at Bryce Young. Look what happened to him. He's riding the bench now because that team is so bad. They have nothing to support the guy. At least Caleb's got some sort of support, and I think it's going to give him a little easier transition to be able to figure the game out and to have improvements a little quicker than other guys. So
just real quick, Cuervo, remember Troyman was a first-round draft choice and the first pick in the draft.
He was the number 1 pick too, and his first season didn't go too well.
His first season wasn't so well, but he ended doing pretty well for himself. So, I mean, again, that was a couple generations ago. So, I mean, but you're right though. Quarterbacks who get drafted early on do not last very long because the team that has got them. Look at Bryce, like you said, Bryce Young. He's getting benched for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, of all people. The guy that even Sonny would come on here and say there's not 32 teams he can start for. Now there is one. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's going to be hit and miss with him this year, and his growth is going to come more for next year, I believe, not just this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he needs that playing experience to at least get that under his belt, and that's what he's going to be getting. And those nights where he's going to be looking shell shocked because he did the wrong pass or the receiver ran the wrong route or what the deal is. That's going to come in time. I mean, eventually, once he gets better control of that offensive line and those receivers, and they realize that he's the captain of that team, it's going to be some growing pains. But you know what? They're in a better direction than we are going to give them credit for. Now, whether or not Caleb's that guy or not, we'll find out later. But I mean, it's more promising than it's more promising now, seeing what they can be down the road than it is looking for this week's sake,
Right. All right. So Obi, I believe you haven't made your pick yet. Who you got in this game? You going to Colts or?
Well, let me say a few things here.
Okay.
I remember a quarterback that was with the Colts his rookie season, and I don't believe they won a game that year. And his name was Peyton Manning, and he was awful his first year. There's not many rookie quarterbacks that come in and light this league on fire. And you got to also understand, Caleb Williams, this is like last week was his second full game in the NFL. Didn't play a lot in the preseason. And we're going to go back with, the why in the first couple of weeks was some of the football so bad, because the first stringers didn't play a lot of preseason because they didn't want them to get hurt. So, yes, last week I saw some plays that I thought that Caleb Williams should have been able to make, but he didn't. And so it all comes down to today is what team, and I'm going to go back. Sonny said it. I think Bryce said it. What team is going to be able to run the rock better? I'm not going to say lights out, but better and control the game. What you guys have been talking about, offensive line, not great on the Bears. Offensive line on the Colts, iffy at best. So I just feel like, and Cuervo, I really want to pick the Bears to win this game, but I just can't. I just can't because of, we go back to, and I'm an old school guy, home field advantage. You got the crowd. They're going to be really, cheering against Caleb Williams to fail. And the Colts have a running back named Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Yep. And DeAndre Swift has shown me nothing in the first 2 games for the Bears. They got to get that guy involved. Like
interestingly enough, I've been listening. I had to take care of a little business real quick. That being said, when you have, and I was just talking to a friend of mine about this, and this was on the high school level, but it is on the NFL level as well. When you got 2 teams that are not really 2 good football teams, you're going to have a dogfight. And that's what this is going to end up happening, I think. And the difference is, but you're right. You were right. The offensive line for both these teams are not all that good, but there is Jonathan Taylor who has the experience, who can work with whatever deficiencies on the offensive line that are there. And the best thing to do in reality and for the Bears is they need Swift to get out in the passing game a lot more than just running the football, because obviously it's not working. You got to throw a curveball there. And then same thing with Jonathan Taylor. But if anybody's going to have success against the line, it will be Jonathan Taylor figuring out what he's got to do in order to get yards. So I'm up on Indianapolis now. Has everybody picked their the who they're going to play? Cuervo, have you picked yet?
No, but I think you guys know already. I think you already know who I'm taking.
Yeah. So
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm taking the Bears.
No, so Bryce, did you actually pick that part? I might not have heard, but
Yeah,
did you actually take Indianapolis?
I did. I apologize to Cuervo. I think Indy gets their first win of the year this year.
Now, the fact that I was doing other business, I will ask the Podfather officially who you're on, because I did not necessarily hear that from you. Who are you on?
You should replay the show and find out.
Oh yeah. All right, I'll do that. Then when
waiting
it
to
clicks
pick
in,
'em.
hopefully you pick the Bears, and and then you might not get the pick for it. So that's fine.
Well, he's going to be right then. If he does that, he'll be right, and he gets the pick right.
So, all right, my man. So that does it. Now, since we got him in, the Steelers are in action today. And the terrible towel, he's feeling confident about the terrible towel. However, the Steelers, 2-0. Now, I'm telling you right now, if you say that you thought the Pittsburgh Steelers would be 2-0 going into this game, I'm going to call you a liar based upon what I know from most of these people in this room. That having been said,
Already starting.
We're
already starting.
No. I'm just
Against
saying.
the Falcons and the Broncos, you thought we couldn't be 2-0.
No. I thought that they would drop one that they have no business doing, because that's what.
Right, but that's because you're on drugs.
Listen, it's Justin Fields. Okay, are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I just expected to drop one of them. Okay,
Obi, it's Justin Fields, but it's Kirk Cousins and Bo Nix. He had more faith in them.
I have more faith in
Kirk Cousins coming off a shredded Achilles. Couldn't even move.
He's still out on Bo Nix. So
Sonny has a man crush on Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely does.
And that Jimmy Garoppolo, baby, watch out. Best
Jimmy
backup
B.
quarterback in the NFL. But that being said, here comes. Say whatever you want, Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh, and the Chargers. And by the way, is this game in Pittsburgh today?
Yeah.
It is in Pittsburgh. So we need to get the not one, not two, not three, but three, and the name of the team that you're playing as far as what's going to happen today. What are your three takes on what we should be watching today?
So first and foremost, before I get to dealing with the Los Angeles Sparklers, we'll get to them in a minute. I brought the towel out for a couple more reasons. One, 2-0 going to the Chargers. Similar teams, they play in a similar way. This one's going to be a chin strap type of game. I got a couple things to say. First and foremost, I came to bring a towel to commemorate the lovely Carla and the death of her Bronco offense. May it rest in peace. That had to be so hard for her to watch that. I'm sure she was almost in tears watching Bo Nix try to run that offense. But I'm going to say this too before I move on and get to this game. I'm not going to say strap in, but I got to say this. I don't want to hear from Sean Payton anymore. And I don't want to hear anyone on this show talking or giving any grace to Sean Payton. So let me get this straight. You can get guys like Sonny Clark and Sean Payton to rant about how cooked Russell Wilson is and he can't throw anymore and he's done. So we get rid of Russell Wilson to sign up for that offense. That's what we did. We said, okay, Russ, you're done. You can't run my stuff. Let me go draft Bo Nix, bring him in here, and we're going to get this thing going to put that product out on the field for the fans. But Sean Payton.
Well, what was left for him? Because all the other guys were gone.
Sean Payton, who acts like, well, Sonny, how about you don't get rid of the quarterback that threw 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions? How about you don't do that? Because I tell you, if you had Russell Wilson last week, you had a much better chance to actually get that game home and win that game. So,
well, when you have racist tendencies from your head coach, it's probably got a little
look,
bit.
I don't know. Let me tell you what the tendencies of Sean Payton are. Sean Payton's tendencies are, I invented football. Let me show you. I want to make sure that everyone sees we can win my way, and I can keep the new age player in line all at the same time because I'm God's gift to coaching. And that's what they signed up for. Carla should take Cuervo down to that stadium. They should start a boycott, signs and everything, and get all of the Broncos fans together and say, we're not going to watch this nonsense anymore. We'll see if they turn around, but it's just nonsensical that you get rid of Russell Wilson again. Sonny Clark and his media people going nuts about how bad Russell is just to sign up, Obi, for Bo Nix. Like, that's the best we could do. After all of this, after all of we're getting rid of him, he's bad, the narrative, we're going to eat the contract to run that offense out on the field. That just goes to show you, that tells you a lot about who Sean Payton is.
Well,
I'm done wasting time talking about this team.
That being said, I never said that it was a great idea for them to get rid of Russell Wilson. So you can go back in the archives. It doesn't shock me that they did because of who paid. Because I'll just throw this out. I don't like to do this, but you ask yourself one question. Do you think he would have done what he did to Drew Brees?
Absolutely
No. The answer to that's no, and I'm telling you, it has a lot to do with the color of this right here. It has a lot, and I'm sorry, I'm putting it out there because listen, there are also other rumors within the NFL that is that way on the side, keeping it undercover.
Obi, let me ask you this: do you think he would have done that to Kirk Cousins?
No, I don't think so.
Or Jimmy Garoppolo? Or any of these
or Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Sonny, I'll say this. I'm not gonna say. Here's what I'll do. I won't say that the decision was 100%. That Sean Payton let his 100% bias come through. I don't like the way who this guy is, who he plays, because he's black or something like that. But let me tell you, I do believe that the way Russell Wilson was treated, based on whatever narrative Sean Payton had in his head, because he also said something, Obi, that was interesting. Remember, he wanted Russell Wilson to stop kissing babies and kind of play football. But who kissed more babies and was more political than Drew Brees? Like, Drew Brees was always trying to say the right thing, do the right thing. The players were coming out to support Kaepernick in whatever way. Drew Brees still kept it about the flag. He was when it came to trying to do the right thing in the face of the public, no one kissed more babies than Drew Brees. So what does that mean when you want him to do that? So to Sonny's point, could that be some of the thing that he just didn't like the way Russell Wilson presented himself? We can't just outright say that didn't help animate his decision. Having said that, part of that is Sean Payton has to win his way. He wants to show people how that no, it's my way or the highway type of thing.
Sounds like he wants to be a Bill Belichick.
There you go. So I think all of those things help make the decision. Sonny's opinion is his. I understand why you get that.
I'm also saying tendencies that go on. I see it, and I listen. They're just like those people. I hear more than the normal, pale skinned dude, and then understanding what is actually happening more so than what's happening. Those are two different things, and I've learned that over the years being married to my lovely wife. So I'm just saying tendencies more so than I'll call him. He's not. I guess I'll say he's not Donald Trump, but at the same time, he is who he is. But that being said, you got a game against the Chargers listen, this will be the test for your quarterback, and listen, I'm not even saying good, bad, or indifferent. This is just going to be the test. Even if they lose this game, I think, Bryce, I'll say the way they lose it is going to be a good indicator on whether or not Fields will remain the quarterback, and then whether or not we'll see Justin Fields, or if they win or whatever. But it's how it happens on the football field in order for Justin Fields to save that job. What's your look at that?
Wow, you guys are gonna. I think Sonny Clark made a very astute point there, because I was thinking about that myself. The way they lose.
What?
I do want to say this. Oh, here's another thing about Drew Brees. He drafted Bo Nix because he thought he had his next Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Like literally. Like, so there's just a lot of this stuff is just adding up. It just doesn't smell right.
Sean Payton would not be where he is without Drew Brees.
Absolutely.
Drew Brees was on that team before Sean Payton was.
But you also got to realize the draft order at the same time, what was available and what was, and this is just basically the leftover. And say whatever you want about a coach, they got to coach that up and say, hey, that's my guy. They got to make him feel good about it. So I don't buy that more, because I think there are 4 other quarterbacks he would have rather have had in reality.
Okay, fine. But Sonny, you didn't have to draft him, one, because I don't know if he warranted the pick at that place. And look, there's time to turn it around, but what we've seen so far, that offense, that's what we gave up Russell Wilson for. It just doesn't smell right to me. But I'll leave that to this game. These two teams, in the way John Harbaugh is playing, they really mirror each other.
Yeah.
They're very, very similar. On the edge rushers, the outside linebackers, they're both running 3-4. They have Pack and Bosa that simply get after you. They've got Bud Dupree in the rotation, former Steeler. He can pitch hit and give some minutes there. You got that versus Alex Highsmith and T.J. Watt, one of the best duos, maybe the best duo in football in terms of outside linebackers. You got 2 offensive lines that want to be very physical. You got young tackles. Now, Troy Fautanu was placed on IR, so Roderick Jones comes back into the game. He had a rough game last week. He's more hurt than what people are letting on with his elbow. But you got a talented tackle that you drafted. You got Dan Moore, who's held the left side down, but boy, he's going to get a test against Khalil Mack today. You got teams that want to run the ball. They want to limit the amount of throws. I mean, they're just mirroring each other in terms of the way they play. An interesting part of this is J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. It's Baltimore West out there with Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator. But a lot of the times that they had success running the ball with that system against Pittsburgh and Baltimore was because you had quarterback mobility. You had to worry about Lamar Jackson. So if you're going to give something up, let's give up Gus and J.K. a little bit more than Lamar. So let's see if they can mimic that success they had without the threat of the running quarterback like Lamar. But you got Justin Herbert, who was healthy, can make every throw. So I think this is going to be a very tightly contested, hard-hitting. It's going to almost feel like an AFC North game, and I'm 100% here for it.
So that being said, Cuervo, this one was one of the tough ones. When I was looking at the games, I like where the Chargers could be going, but they haven't shown that they are where I would want them to be in order to maybe take the stab against the Steelers, who are, let's just say, they got the proven head coach that's been there for years. You got John Harbaugh on the other side, just trying to put it together now and put it together on the field for week in and week out. So I thought coaching was a lot in this. Yes, Harbaugh is don't get me wrong. I think he's a great coach, but he's also running into the fact that this is all new to him. And I don't know how I feel about that going up against, a Steelers team that, everybody knows what the plans are, what you're going to do as a Pittsburgh Steeler player. So I thought coaching was a big, part of this game. What is your take up on coaching and the game, what you're going to see today?
Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, these teams they have similarities. They like to run the ball. They've got some good defense. And the big thing is Russell Wilson's still not ready to go. With him being cooked and all. So that said, though, I think run games are going to be important. I think because both teams want to do that, it's going to be who's going to stop whose run game. I'm just really, I don't know if surprise is the right word, but I'm a little impressed. With how the Chargers have gone 2-0 so far. I just really thought I had that strong belief that the game was, the game had passed Jim Harbaugh and he wasn't going to be ready to make this transition back into the NFL. But I tell you what, he's making me eat some crow right now because, for them to be 2-0, given the teams that they've played, it's not easy to come back to the NFL, I would imagine, after being out for 10 years. I think he was at Michigan. So for him to come back and just kind of almost like he picked up right where he left off, he really did his homework and knows what the league is like now compared to what it was 10 years ago, which I don't know, maybe not much has changed, but maybe in my mind it has. I think that being in catch-up field today, it's Bryce. I'm gonna show you some respect, even though you ain't picking my Bears today. I like what I'm seeing from Pittsburgh, and I think they can get it done, but it ain't gonna be because of Fields. We know that. But I just think running the ball, controlling the line, I think that's where Pittsburgh does their best work, is controlling the line of scrimmage. That's what they've always done well. And so I do like the Steelers today. But if I can for a minute, guys, I'm going to rewind a little bit, go back to what we were talking about with Sean Payton and all that. I'll tell you, Bryce, there's nobody that would endorse what you said more than my wife. She does not like Sean Payton one bit. She's not a fan. She never liked him. She's always had the belief that kind of like what you were saying, even with Drew Brees, they didn't do a whole lot after that Super Bowl. They were a consistent playoff team, but it didn't ever lead back to the Super Bowl, back to the NFC Championship. It just kind of digressed year after year. She doesn't like the way that they pushed Russell Wilson out. And even I feel like he didn't get a fair shake. But I will say this though, I think the issues that Peyton had with Russell Wilson, it was character, but it wasn't the political part of it. It was the rumored entitlements that he had and especially that Hackett allowed him to have. He had his own office. He had his own entourage. And he thought when Sean Payton rolled in that it was going to be the same thing. And Sean Payton was like, no. You're part of this team. You're going to be in the locker room with the other players, building that camaraderie. So you got to give Payton credit for kind of taking that control of that situation.
Sure.
And I think it rubbed Russ the wrong way, but where Sean Payton messed up, where I think he overstepped his boundary in the situation, is when he asked him to take a pay cut because he felt like his performance wasn't up to par with what he wanted. And that's where the crap fell apart. That's where it went all to hell between Peyton and Russell Wilson. And that's why you saw what happened. So while I do think that Peyton was in the wrong, I don't know that it's really a thing where he just didn't like Russell Wilson. He because for whatever reason, I think it rubbed Russ the wrong way when he told him, you're going to be a part of this team. You're not your own individual person. You're not going to get your own office. And who the hell do you think you are, dude? And so I think that's where the friction happened, and that's where the change happened.
So
Yeah.
real quick, Cuervo, up to that point, I have no disagreement with that. And Russ came in, and I think it's been confirmed that he was a little outside of his mind there,
Right.
with the ego. Here's where it gets lost for me, Cuervo. It gets lost for me that first, Russ wouldn't be the only quarterback to ever go outside his mind with his ego. That's happened before. We've seen that before. So Sean Payton is well within his right to deal with that. And you're well within your right to want to bench Russell Wilson if you feel he's not giving you whatever. Okay. It's all of the extra stuff that came after that, Cuervo, when the guy was playing good football, winning 5 games in a row. Just the comments about him publicly. We have never seen a quarterback, and then ultimately culminating with that contract fiasco. We've just never seen a quarterback treated like this, ever. And we can't think of a situation where someone went to a quarterback or a player of Russell Wilson's status and did him like that with the contract. And that's where it's like it just gets lost for me. Like,
and he was belittling him on the sideline. Am I right?
I know we've never seen that. Ryan Clark on the pivot. I remember when he got on the pivot and said, Mike Tomlin would call up everybody in the meetings. You screwed up. You screwed up. He said, you know who we didn't do that to? Ben Roethlisberger. And Mike Tomlin is known for being one of the most fair coaches ever. He said, yep. He said, because Ben is the quarterback and Mike knew the way he may handle that, he had to deal with him a little bit of a different way. So even Mike Tomlin, Cuervo, had to understand that the quarterback, whether we like it, is a different animal. And I have never seen a coach act like that towards the quarterback of the football team. So it lends credence to all this stuff that we're bringing up. It just smelled bad.
You know what, though? Yeah. I understand why, though. I understand why Tomlin didn't do that. I'll say this. Do I believe that Mike Tomlin never criticized Ben? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But now the leadership in me is thinking, and my thought is he did it in private because he didn't want to call him out in front of the rest of the team.
Sure.
And that I completely understand, and I think that's fair. You can have your criticisms or whatever, but I think that head coach quarterback relationship has to be different. And it's not special treatment. It's not, teacher's pet or however you want to describe it. I just think that relationship has to be solid. I mean, it's got to be, like peanut butter and jelly, man. They just go together. You can't mess that up. And whenever you criticize your quarterback in public or you call him out in front of the team, you lose that credibility with your quarterback as a head coach, and it's not easy to get back. I know that for a fact. Right. So I think Tomlin, probably did the right thing by not criticizing him or whatever in front of the rest of the team. Hey, Ben, come see me after the meeting. We got some, I want to talk to you about a few things. You do it in private, and you establish that bond in privacy. And that way he understands, you guys understand each other on a different level.
Yes.
And I think that's what worked so well for Belichick Brady, even though he did call Brady out like during practices or whatever. But I think when it comes down to the deeper talks and all that, I guarantee you that all that stuff was done in private. Away
of course.
From
it's all about relationship too. I mean, that relationship was so young. When you compare it to Belichick and Brady, you're talking years and years and years. This is just spot on, just right immediately, where there's no chance to develop that relationship to where you can criticize in a way to where someone would understand it. So that's where it is. Now, Obi, when you look at this, when you look at the Chargers, listen, this is the game. I have all the games figured out. I know who I want to pick. This is the game I don't get. I'm so leaning Chargers. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's Bryce's just what everybody said. These two teams are mirroring each other, and I have to ask myself the question: who's the better quarterback? And right now, I'm going Justin Herbert. That might be the reason why I would pick the Chargers in this game. What's your take upon what you're seeing in this game as the Steelers are taking on the Chargers in the problem in Heinz Field? That's the problem.
Here we go. Let's hear what the Browns fan has to say. Here we go.
Here's what I'm going to see. Here's what I see in this game. This smells so much like a typical AFC North game. Ground and pound, smash mouth, trenches, all this kind of stuff. And, I just, it comes down to who's going to control the game, who's going to control the ball, who's going to be able to run the ball. I mean, I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record here with these games we're talking about. But this is Jim Harbaugh football, is control, establish the line of scrimmage, control the ball, control the clock, run the ball, pass only when you have to, and pass to loosen up the defense a little bit. And Justin Fields, I'm sure Mike Tomlin's going to him today and probably all week. Is like, just manage the game. Manage the game. Don't make mistakes. Get the ball where it needs to go. You can't make the receivers catch the ball, but make it to where they can catch the ball, no one else. And so with all of that and what I see, it's just, I'm going to go, again, it's at home. As Cuervo would say, I see the Steelers winning this game at Ketchup Field today, but I'm going to say something.
Say it, Obi.
I want to see the Steelers. Now, and Sonny is going to laugh at
Here we go.
I want to see the Steelers kill the Chargers.
Now, Obi,
what? I want to see
you say that,
156 to nothing. Because
why
I
would you say
despise Jim Harbaugh that much.
Lord.
I knew it. I've known this man for over 30 years. I knew exactly where he was going.
Listen. I'm a Steeler fan. Let me tell you, as a Browns fan, that is a disgrace. That is a disgrace. You got to let that go. You're going to root for the Steelers to go up 3-0 just because of the Michigan thing? That's a disgrace.
No. I picked the Steelers because I was logical first. I'm just saying, now I'm saying with my heart, I want the Steelers just to pound and ground them into that ground and be done with them.
You have betrayed the whole dog pound. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to hear you right now.
Podfather, what's your take up on the Steelers? Listen, the Steelers are 2-0. You can't argue it. The tick is underneath the W's, two of them. What's your take up on and the Chargers 1-1? Quarterback, who's the best? I don't know. What's your take on?
I was surprised by Obi, but we're all about to go to Lariat City. Here we go.
Yeah.
Chair shot.
Well, first of all, I thought the Chargers were 2-0.
They are 2-0.
They are.
Sign just said they were 1-1.
Oh,
so,
I apologize. They are 2-0.
Okay. Well, look. As much as it pains me to say this, I do like what the Steelers are doing with Justin Fields. Until I heard the kiss of death this week of Ben Roethlisberger saying, "Yeah, I stick with Justin Fields." He's the same guy that said he would stick with Kenny Pickett last year.
That's
so
very true.
I don't take what Big Ben says seriously.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, but having said that, look, Justin Fields is still Justin Fields. Is he getting better? Sure, but he can be worse.
Okay. Fair.
I trust Harbaugh and what he's doing with the Chargers. Again, the Chargers are not a broken team. They're a pretty decent team. They're not great. They're a pretty decent team. They're kind of like the Bills, where the Bills are probably shining more above them right now than anything else. But the came down to quarterback, like you said, Sonny, I trust Herbert over Fields. They're playing in Pittsburgh. That's going to be a different thing because once again, that travel is going to be a bitch. But yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers. I mean, as much as I'm sure the Seals will screw me over like this week 1, but Justin Herbert's not Kirk Cousins either, so there is that.
No,
yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers.
I'm looking at the game, and I want so badly to take the Chargers. I really do. But there's a problem that's going on as far as injuries are concerned. Joey Bosa right now is questionable. Now, listen, does that mean anything in the grand scheme of it? Will he be on the football field? Will he be on the football field? Yeah, he's got a hip problem. At least that's according to the injury report I'm reading. Okay, and that is as of Friday, and he's questionable. I have not got an update on what that is. I don't like the sound of that being so, because I was leaning big time Chargers, okay, because of the quarterback situation. But when you got TJ Watt, which, are you ready, Bryce? Bryce is going to become my best friend. TJ Watt's the best defensive player in the NFL right now, bar none. And by the way, it's not even a question. You cannot name one player right now on the defensive side of the ball that has more of an impact and more, quality game in the first 2 games than TJ Watt. And by the way, he's not hurt. And that up on top of that, they're at home, whether or not, how they're going to work Justin Fields. I still trust Mike Tomlin to take this cat and say, listen, this is how we're going to do it. And this is what, look here, do this, do that. And then, and I trust Tomlin with him. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold my hat on the Bosa on the other side at home. And the coaching, I think, is going to be better in reality because of the length of time. So I'm on the Pittsburgh Steelers today. So,
just food for thought real quick. Justin Herbert has a high ankle sprain.
Yes.
And that too. By the way, that too. And it's a game time decision. There hasn't been an update up on that too.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to play.
I think he's going to play, but when you have what they always say about 4 wheels on the car, you got to make sure that they're all at the same tire pressure to get better performance. Well, guess what? It's the same thing at your quarterback position. So
one tire down.
Yeah,
Sonny,
it'll kill you.
Sonny, don't bring up tires to me right now, okay?
I know. You want to talk about that guy had a bad week. That guy had a bad week. I'm glad I only have to drive 4 miles to work, and that's it. So there you go. I'm feeling kind of lucky. Knock on wood.
Hey, gentlemen, I got to get going.
Okay, wait, Obi, before you go, I haven't made my pick yet. I haven't made my pick yet.
Oh.
I'm about to get killed on this show because I can't believe I'm going to do this. But
my God, no.
I'm consistent. I always say coach and quarterback.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to take Mike Tomlin. But if Justin Herbert is healthy, I think in a tight game, he's able to make maybe 1 or 2 throws. And the edge rushers for the Chargers are just a little bit better than the tackles for Pittsburgh. And I think, and I had this even before the season, I'm gonna stick with it. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Telling me there's a chance.
The Pittsburgh Steelers suffer their first loss.
My God!
And lose to the Chargers.
That was a big one. I hate.
You gotta record this.
Listen. I'm unbiased. I am unbiased. I try to keep it. I try to keep it as unbiased as possible. No one goes undefeated. I think Herbert, if he's healthy, makes 1 or 2 throws, a little bit more than Justin Fields at this time of the season, and the Chargers are able to come out with a win.
Man, I want to. I want to. I want to. By the way, Obi, your Browns are in action. What's going on before you get out of here?
A W.
Oh, that's a W. That's a W.
Play the Giants. Please.
Obi, it better be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm rooting for those Giants, but it better be Obi, or you better not tell me
right now. Sonny,
I'm going to tell you what's.
Sonny, be ready for a phone call to talk me off the ledge.
Okay.
If
Well,
we
I got
lose.
news for you. This is what's gonna. I'm gonna tell you what will happen. Okay, call me Karnak. I don't have an envelope. Call me Karnak. If the Browns lose this game, Mr. Stefanski, he might be gone. And now I know that's. I listen. You want to talk about a hot seat coach right now? The griddle mark are getting deep into the flesh, okay, because the heat has been turned up, and loss against the Giants just might take them over the edge in reality. So watch for that. But I want to tell you right now, if they lose that game and they don't fire him, he is on the hot seat for the rest of the season, and he might not make it to the end of the season. So
Go
watch
Big
out for
Blue.
that. I honestly,
Hey.
yes. So
And if Deshaun Watson plays bad, he might be benched.
Ooh, we'll see how this
I can see
goes.
that.
Go Big Blue. Let's go.
oh,
I
we
mean,
lost.
I mean,
Come
you know,
on.
And
hey,
I'm hoping that the Giants wear those god awful uniforms they wore in week 1.
They were
God,
That
it
ain't
looks like
bad.
some sort of prison.
Those were.
Prison.
I might buy one just because it was so bad. I mean, I've seen bad before, but that was bad. Go ahead,
There you go.
Father.
no, I was gonna say, I mean, with remember the Browns struggled against the NFC East teams.
Oh, there it is. There's the chair shot right there. There it is.
Oh,
Right when
boy.
you're about to leave, you turn
That was
around.
hilarious.
I know.
It turned them inside out.
It cost you the championship. There it is.
Yes. All right, my man. Obi, good to see you. Thank the wife for letting you come and play for
Listen,
a
let
little
me
bit.
tell you
Now, that
something.
being said,
I listen. Obi's my guy. Oh, I want to see it. I want to see the chaos. I want to see the New York Football Giants get their first win this season, so Obi's head can explode. Oh my God! Do you know the chaos that will happen if the Giants get that win? Wow!
I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
Listen, I wouldn't mind the Giants winning because I want them to come into play the Cowboys on Thursday night, feeling all like they got to have a win.
Right? Yeah. No, I can see that.
Well, the setup is great. I mean, the whole setup is a wonderful idea, but
And the Browns are at home. Listen, Deshaun Watson may lay an egg.
I almost picked the Giants.
Browns were at home against the Cowboys.
Yes, they were. It could happen.
I came this close to picking the Giants, and the main reason why is because right now, and I wish Obi was here, the Cleveland Browns are a mess. And they're taking it in the shorts on the field. They're taking it in the shorts in the media. They're taking it in the shorts with their quarterback. And everybody is saying and talking about the guy that is Watson in a negative light so long that I don't know if you can bring him back to say, oh man, Watson's going to be great for us and everything. I think you know what? I think the vote is in on Watson, not just from us. I always thought he stunk. Everybody thought I was nuts. Saying, oh, this guy's a top 5 quarterback. The dude's never been a top 5 quarterback. Yeah, I said it, and you can argue with me all day long. But how many playoff games did he win? The guy sucked. He just proved it. He had 4. He did the atypical thing. Had 4 good games. That's bad. I'm not done.
Sonny. Yeah, you are. Look, hey, quick question. Did he look good last week?
Say what?
Did Sean Watson look good last week?
He was okay, Podfather.
Yeah, but I mean, considering how much he stinks, according to Sonny, did he play okay last week?
Yeah, okay.
Well, hold on. That just all depends on what your expectations of how many $1 million quarterback is he? Your expectations have to be higher than what you've seen last week, and just because you get a win doesn't make you a guy that can turn the whole feeling of the team around. Right now, the team is in disarray, and you can sit there and argue that all day long, but no one's feeling positive about any game this week. Never mind the one that they're playing today, even against the Giants.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to argue the fact that because the Cowboys are paying $240 million for a quarterback who got his shit kicked out of them again by the Saints last week. So
Well, they overlooked the Saints.
I get it. Yeah, but
A big time overlook. They thought they were going to go in there, just like Sonny said, to kick their ass, and that just didn't happen. They overlooked them. I really honestly believe that.
Well, hey, all I'm saying is that the Browns have had some positive momentum from last week, considering where they started at on week 1. And so they play the Giants this week. Look, they might take them lightly. I mean, the Giants have shown enough to where they have no heart at all. So, I mean, hell, if they wear those jerseys, they shouldn't have any heart. I mean, but they can take them lightly, and the Giants can, surprise everybody. And because the Giants aren't going to go 0-17. I just don't see it happening. I think they'll get a win or 2 or at least 5 or 6. But they're not.
Do you think it happens today against the Browns today? Although I think that would be a good one to.
No.
Yeah, okay, so.
No.
So, gotcha. Cuervo, Browns, Giants. I don't know if there's a lot to talk about coming from your side, but I had a lot of fun.
No, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I think Cleveland wins, and I think they continue to try to run the ball because something's not right with Watson, man. I just think all this legal garbage that he's going through again is really affecting his play on the field.
And throw that into all the other reasons. You got yet another one. And by the way, it's multiple on that, by the way, too. It's not just one, it's multiple again. So that's something. How long do we got you for, Bryce?
I got about 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Not
I'm going to go to the
bad.
Jaguar.
We're getting a good amount of Bryce today.
Yeah. I want to go to the Jaguar game. Okay. Because, that's just what we do. We hit our teams first, and then we'll go to the Dallas Cowboys. But the Jaguars, listen, I'm telling you right now, I tried to have all the confidence in the world. But I told everybody before this season started, don't expect miracles. Just because he signs that contract, don't expect miracles. By the way, I was watching that thing that Cuervo put up. He has like 16 yards. There's something stupid stat that Trevor Lawrence has that equals like 16 yards. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now.
Should we strap in? We're going to have to strap in?
Not yet. That's next week because they're going to lose today. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. The Jaguars are going to lose today. And what the problem with that loss today is that the coach might be on a hot seat as well, because you can say whatever you want about that. There are a few games this season that they should have won. Game 1, they should have won. Yeah, you can argue game 2.
Sonny,
but I'm telling you right now, you cannot continuously not show up. So I've renamed my Jacksonville Jaguars the no-show-wers. Okay? The no-show-wers. Jaguar. No show. This team is not showing up, and especially in big time situations. Their blocking is disgusting. You thought the Bears' offensive line was bad. The Jaguars are not very far behind. It might even be worse. Be worse in reality.
No, stop it. The Bears are historically bad. On the
no, but I'm just saying right now.
I'd rather have the Jaguar offensive line. Trust me.
Right now, I don't know.
Yes.
Missing block. Hey, listen, you need to watch Tom McManus because he broke it down. If I had time to get it, I would have put it up. There are missed assignments that, by the way, this is what he said. He said they're elementary in football words. Okay, so if you're missing blocks that you have no business missing because you're a professional football player, that's where the problem is. And what does he always said about winning a football game? Has nothing to do with the quarterback, has nothing to do with wide receivers. Where does it start? It starts up front. And the Jaguars are not doing it. They are pathetic. And Trevor Lawrence could throw for 300 yards. But guess what? He's not capable of doing it. He doesn't have the equipment to do it because his offensive line is so bad. And the Jaguars today, the Buffalo Bills, even at half speed, they're gonna blow. You ready for it? They're gonna blow them out.
Sonny's blowout of the
Jaguars going down today. So
that's
Mr.
Sonny's
Price,
blowout of the week, guys. You know, he's got one every week.
That's my blowout of the week, and it's my own damn team. So, Mr. Bryce from Brooklyn, what's your take up on the Buffalo Bills, which, by the way, hey, look sharp. Say whatever you want. Looking pretty good, even with their mediocre quarterback. From everybody says, what's your take up on what you see with the Jaguars and the Bills today?
First of all, the Jaguars are very disappointing. The first week, okay, you lost that. You got to get that game home against Cleveland last week. Deshaun Watson has been struggling. You can't let him at least get to a point where he's making some plays. You got to really take that confidence, try to get an early lead. And I don't know what's up with the Jaguars. It's like I think Doug Peterson may actually have an identity problem. And when he's looking across the field, he needs to see the solution. The Buffalo Bills have decided our identity is going to start with James Cook. We're going to run the football. And while Josh Allen is better on a play-by-play basis at not making mistakes, a little bit better than what we may think, because we have this image of him just making a lot of gunslinger plays, he is prone to, if you put him in enough situations, to making a couple big mistakes. So what they've done is they've just leaned. Joe Brady has leaned in and said, we're going to be a running team. We're going to run it. We're going to run it. We're going to run it some more. So when we do throw, it's going to be very impactful. The Jacksonville Jaguars used to be, we pound you into submission. We play great defense. I think Doug Peterson's kind of caught himself in the middle because he's got these, he had, the Sharks of the world and the guys that would come out of nowhere and make plays. And Trevor Lawrence can make all these throws and he's got the look. And, Travis Etienne is a skillful back that can run and catch passes. And it just seems he's caught in the middle. I don't know what their offense is committed to, Sonny. So defensively, it's not the same defense that it was. They've got some good players, but there are good players on that defense. So I guess when it comes to the Jaguars, I think this is a team. There are teams that are struggling with identity. Like if you look at the teams they lost to, those two teams have, because they played the Colts in the first week, right? No. Mm-hmm. No. They played
Miami.
They played Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Miami has
and lost in the final minutes of that game as well.
Right. If you look at Miami, there's a clear identity there. We're going to run a lot of layered offense. We're going to use explosiveness. We're going to beat you downfield. There's an identity there. You play the Browns. There's an identity. We're going to run it. We're going to run the zone scheme. We're going to unleash our defense. We're going to make you play our style. What style do the Jaguars want to make teams play? I don't know. And I think playing a team against Buffalo, the Jaguars have talent, but I don't think they're as connected as the Buffalo Bills are right now. I think it's more even on paper, and these teams are kind of mirrors of each other on paper more than you think. The Jaguars defense has got some good players. The Bills aren't a great defense, but they've got some good players. You got the quarterback that can make the throws. You got a running back that's pretty good. The Jaguars have pretty good receivers, not great, but they've got good core receivers. You just don't there's more of an identity in Buffalo, and Josh Allen's better than Trevor Lawrence. I'm going with the Bills.
Let me ask you a question. If I was to ask you, as far as teams are concerned and what is going on, would you say a team as far as week in and week out, let's just say your team scores 32 points in the game and your team scores 15. Would that be considered a blowout? Because those are the numbers, by the way, of scoring offense. Buffalo Bills, 32 points a game. The Jacksonville Jaguars, 15. And this has just got blowout written all over it.
I see what you're saying, because we're thinking when you say blowout 40-7, but you're thinking like double digits. Double digits is a blowout.
Well, 2 touchdowns. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns, and to me, that's a blowout. It might. I think they lose today by 17 points. I think they're going to lose by 17.
I would say that's a blowout. Cuervo, would you agree 2 touchdowns or more in the NFL is a blowout?
Not quite. I think for me, a blowout is 20 or more.
Okay.
Or how they get it. Like if you're scoring when no one's playing defense and the damn game's over and you get in on so maybe how those points are scored.
I don't think how the points are scored really matters. It just because to me it's a difference between like just blowing a team out and really dominating a game. So I'll give you an example on the college level. You look at last night's game, Tennessee, Oklahoma. It was only a 10-point win, but if you watched the game, like Sonny says, watch the damn game. Tennessee dominated that whole game, especially on defense. So even though the score doesn't show a blowout, you can still dominate the game. But a blowout, like I said, it's more about, to me, what the final score is.
Gotcha.
Or if you got a 20-point lead or more for at least half of the game, yeah, you're getting blown out.
Yeah. So I'll say this, Podfather, what's your take up on today's game, Buffalo and Jaguars?
Well, first of all, did y'all see the score of SMU and TCU last night?
Say that again.
Between
Did y'all
who?
see this? Did y'all between SMU and TCU last night?
No, I didn't see it.
It was like 60. It was like 6. It was like 60 something, 66 to 47 or something like that. It was crazy.
Okay.
I mean, SMU just split them up. But as far as this game, look, I got 2 words for you. Tony Khan.
You know a little bit more about Tony Khan than most.
Okay, Tony
Here
Khan
comes
is
the chair shot, by the way.
Okay.
The owner.
Tony Khan is the owner and creative writer of AEW, and that show entirely is in disarray. That explains Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, the fact that he's actually part of that team as well.
Is that the son?
Yes, he's like the creative director of player personnel or whatever the hell he is. I don't remember what it is. He has ESPN showed a quick thing on him this week where he's wearing the neck brace after getting pole driven in a ring. He's sitting there not selling the injury, by the way. He's on, hey everybody, how's it going, with the neck brace on. But the entire time his goal is to, when the draft is over, who are the undrafted free agents I can go sign? That's his role. His dad is the owner of the Jaguars, so obviously he gave his son the job, and he tells you where that team really is when you think about it. Because if you see what Tony Khan does on the wrestling aspect of that, ain't different than what he does in football, which is nothing. He might get lucky and get a few good, decent players, but he has nothing that's going to be a success. So that's kind of how I view Jacksonville right now, because you can have it's like Jerry Jones. You got to go out and find the right ingredients to make this work all season long. They're finding bits and pieces, but none of it's working. So, in the Bills, look, until I've been proven wrong by them several times. I hate to say this, Josh Allen has become like the Brett Favre of the NFL right now. And I hate saying that because I hate Brett Favre. But, clearly they have more of an idea of who they are as a team than Jacksonville does. So give me Buffalo.
An insane, bringing up wrestling, but at the same time, I get exactly what he's talking about when you go through it. So, Cuervo, Jaguars, Bills, what's your kick?
Yeah, how you not go with Buffalo? And I'm really surprised how well they're playing. I am. I thought they'd take a step back with losing what they lost on offense, but it doesn't look like they've really lost much of a step. So, I like Buffalo. I'm sure Jacksonville will get it figured out, Sonny.
I don't know about that. I hope for my Jaguars' sake that does happen. Now, Bryce, how long do we have you for? I
can stay for one more, and we know what game that is.
It's got to be the Cowboy game, because the man is here, and the Dallas Cowboys, they get their asses handed to them last week, and then now they got the Baltimore Ravens this week. Oh my gosh! I mean, now a real football team comes in. Now I get what that. Well, hold on. What that guy is saying. What that guy's saying. This is a tough game to pick because are the Baltimore Ravens the 0-2 Baltimore Ravens, or are they really a 2-0 football team and they're just misunderstood? So that's my question. Are the Baltimore Ravens, coming from a guy from the AFC North, are the Baltimore Ravens right now just misunderstood, or do they stink like their record is?
I want to hear from the Podfather after that trouncing he saw by his team last week. Podfather, the floor is yours.
Look, I've got a couple spoilers for everybody, and I threw this on Facebook last night. Sonny, answer your phone. No.
Scam likely, dude, man, just won't leave me alone.
Right.
It's like I owe money or something.
Look, there is no way the Ravens go 0-3. The Ravens do not go 0-3 with this. Answer your damn phone. Anyway, look. What happened to Dallas last week? Did they take the Saints lightly? Perhaps. The Saints might be for real though. They won 2 games in a row by over 40 points. Granted, they played Carolina and then Dallas, but Dallas has no running game. We know that. We know this. We knew this going into the season. We knew this was going to be an issue. The Ravens suck at pass defense. But they suck at pass defense if you have a good running game. Guess what Dallas doesn't have? A good running game. So, whatever Jerry Jones thinks, 29-year-old Ezekiel Elliott, who's only averaging 2 yards a carry right now, or whatever the deal is, ain't the answer. Why couldn't run the ball? They really couldn't throw the ball, and their defense was just shit. I mean, look, you don't talk about T.J. Watt being the best defender out there. I can't make the argument about Micah Parsons. I can't, because he hasn't shown up in big games. So, kudos to you guys for calling like it is. I can't say that about my guy, who, by the way, who I think will be a Steeler next year.
I'm saying that.
But look. Here's the thing: Dak Prescott is only going to be as good as a starting quarterback who's making that kind of money if he has a balanced team around him. His team ain't balanced at all, and you can throw the Lamb all you want, throw 400 yards a game, and still lose this game because you don't have the defense, and you don't have the running, you don't have the wherewithal to run the clock, and perhaps pick up yards on the ground that way. So, with that being said, look, Lamar Jackson and company, they don't lose to Dallas very often. Whether it's up in Baltimore or it's down in Dallas, they don't lose to Dallas very often. They're going to lose tonight either. So, give me Baltimore.
All right. So, that being said, Bryce, you got it. This one's a tough one, too, but I think I know where I'm going to go.
Listen, the Podfather knows his team. I mean, the way they got beat down last week. Now, the Saints may be better than we thought they would be. But, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, it just seems still certain teams can match up and run certain schemes. They don't do well against the zone scheme. They don't, the linebacker's still a little light. There are ways you can play that if you can take advantage of those weaknesses, you can get that team. So I think for this week, look, the Baltimore Ravens have lost that game last week. They just seem to collapse a little bit, and they look a tad bit slow on defense. Particularly if you looked at those tight ends we talked about Devontae Adams had a good game. It was really those tight ends. Brock Bowers just went to work. they couldn't guard him. He was really putting in work. So when you turn to the Cowboys, do they have the talent at tight end and running back to take advantage of those things? They do have CeeDee Lamb. They do have Dak, who's the better quarterback. But I think the Baltimore Ravens have enough, and Lamar Jackson can show up and show out enough to go ahead and get that win. So, Podfather, as much as I actually have to, and it makes me sick that I have to root for your Cowboys this week, I don't think it's going to happen, and I think you lose to the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep. Let me ask you a question because of what hold on, just really quick. You said something I thought I heard you say. Did you say Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson? Did you?
No.
Okay.
No. I said no. Dak Prescott is better than the quarterback for the Raiders. I mean, the Gardner Minshew.
Gotcha. Thank you.
But
I just because I almost
kick me off the show. You're about to kick me off the show.
I was
never say that.
Listen.
That would mean, for me to say that would mean I got infected with Sonny Clark-itis. No, I would never say that.
Well, I'm looking at this game, and parts of me, I look at Lamar Jackson. And by the way, I'm going to throw you a stat that'll blow your mind. If you didn't know this stat, you need to get to know it. Lamar Jackson's winning percentage against the NFC is the best by any quarterback in the opposing conference at 92%. Lamar Jackson beats the NFC, not East, West, the whole NFC 92% of the time. And that's a stat that just doesn't show up. It bitch slaps you in reality, and it just goes to show the difference between the AFC and the NFC. In today's game, though, I have not seen enough of Lamar Jackson on that 94% the first two games. I'm actually just a little worried that he's taken a little bit of a step back until something changes. So will that change happen today in Dallas? I don't know. But right now, I don't trust Lamar Jackson. I don't trust the Baltimore Ravens more so. I don't trust their defense that much either. So, I'm actually going to take your Dallas Cowboys to win this game today, Trey Mack. So that being said, Cuervo, I mean, I don't know if you heard the stat, but you're away. Lamar Jackson, 95% against the NFC. He wins 95% of the time. The Dallas Cowboys are an NFC football team. Does that stat matter today when you take a look at this game?
I don't know. I mean, weird stats like that, they tend to kind of fall apart eventually. But yeah, I just think that, when we talk about teams and their identities, it's still kind of hard to pinpoint what exactly Baltimore is. Are they a run team? Are they a spread team? Well, we do know one thing. They like having below average wide receivers. I could tell you that much.
Okay.
Nobody knows that better than Bryce. Bryce
Right.
has seen it week in and week out with the rat birds. But these guys, you ask them to have a playmaking wide receiver, yeah, no thanks. We'll pass. We're good. We'll just rely on Lamar and a little bit of the run game that we have. So maybe that's just what the Ravens are, on offense. Defensively, something seems off with their defense. I don't know if you guys are kind of seeing the same thing, but the defense that we saw last year, that was just flying at the ball, getting pressure on the quarterback. Maybe that was just because it was a Mike McDonald thing and now he's in Seattle, but I couldn't even tell you who's the DC now in Baltimore, but I tell you that they were big shoes to fill, and hasn't really happened yet. So I thought I was going to be the only guy to do it, but Trey, Podfather, I'm going with your Dallas Cowboys as well.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
I think Dallas bounces back, man. I do.
And then I got it. Bounce back games are always important in reality. You
All
know,
right, I
good
gotta
teams will
I gotta
bounce
head
back.
out. I gotta head
But
out, guys.
good to see you,
All right,
Bryce.
Bryce.
Always,
Take care, Bryce.
you're
Enjoy
on
this
the
weekend
Ratbirds,
football.
right? You're on the Ratbirds, right?
I'm on the Rat Birdies,
Gotcha.
unfortunately, but I will be. Hold on. I will be. Well,
He just threw up in his.
Hey,
Oh, he just threw up in his
Cowboys
mouth.
today.
Oh,
Hey, Bryce, when the Bears win today, you're going to hear from me, sir.
You know what?
I'm right back, Sonny.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Cuervo, I will. I don't see it, but you know what? I'll take my beating if they pull it out. All right.
No,
John.
I'm gonna keep it cool. I'm gonna throw in how about them Bears? Like how you like to, how about them Steelers today?
Yeah, listen. Hey.
I'll keep it casual.
Listen, I would love to see the Steelers win it. I'm trying to be unbiased. I had them slated to lose this game even before the season.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with it. We're going to be 2-1, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll be 3-0. All right, fellas.
Kirk Cousins.
On that note, I'm going to head out. All right, guys.
All right, Bryce.
Oh, love Bryce from Brooklyn as we hit the top of the hour, and the Podfather has to get gas. I see him in the ring room. He's getting gas. Is it time to take a quick break?
We can, but then after that, Sonny, I think it's time to rapid fire.
Absolutely, we do. But that's the great thing about that. So let's do that. Let's take a break because, listen, I got no coffee in this cup. So, and plus I got to pee like a Chinese racehorse, so I got to go. So that being said, we're going to take a quick break. And this is by request from our one and only Cuervo. We saw this last week. We brought her in. Her name is, what's her name? Annie what? Annie
Agar.
Agar, yeah, Annie Agar, and she does this once a week. To talk about it's the NFL meeting of week number 2. Here she is. We'll take the quick break. When we come back, we'll get back to it. It will be time for rapid fire. We'll be right back. Enjoy this. And we'll also throw a commercial from Mint Mobile up. So enjoy this. We'll be right back.
We had a couple surprises this weekend. Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, and Lamar are all 0-2. So is Trevor Lawrence, but that is not a surprise at all. Trevor Lawrence had 16 passing yards. The Lions punter had more passing yards in the first half than you. Okay, let's start with Buffalo and Miami. Get in here, please. It's only week 2 and the Dolphins season is already over. That is not true. We have a backup. Skylar Thompson sounds like he should play for the WNBA, but that would be a disservice to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark would be a better option. We should listen to Brian Flores. Wow. I haven't seen Miami this upset since literally any playoff game. Also, I'm sure you all heard about Tua. He is most likely retiring, so just funny story. What? Look, he is in good condition. I've seen Dolphins in better condition at SeaWorld. Okay, get the Ravens back in here, please. We would like to fire John Harbaugh. And hire who? Mike McDonald. Okay, Baltimore. Will you just get Harbaugh in here, please? John, what is your problem? You're constantly ill-prepared. You fail to adjust. You enter 2-minute drills with 1, maybe 2 timeouts. Put the flag down! Oh, great. Hey, did you guys know we had Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers? Luke, stop running the ball on 3rd and 16. You're right, I should run a screen. You might be the worst hire for the Raiders, and they hired Josh McDaniels. We have an announcement. We are benching Bryce Young. What? Why? Did something happen? That is the greatest sports robbery since Ben Simmons. Okay, well, it's week 2. Get Jamarcus Russell Jr. in here, please. He doesn't really want to talk right now, but he said he's okay. His confidence is in the Lord. And Jesus wept a 4th time. Lord Farquaad, because you're about the same height. I'm gonna go. These Panthers are so bad they couldn't even win in Wakanda. Okay, moving on. Let's do the NFC East. Hey, did you guys see DK's celebration against the Patriots? It was George Washington crossing the Delaware. Yes, Washington once crossed the Delaware. Now they can't even cross the goal line. New York, you scored 3 touchdowns, gave up none, and still lost. Why did you not have a backup kicker? In our defense, usually Daniel Jones turns it over before we can kick it. So, speaking of Deshaun Watson, let's do the Browns-Jags game. Cleveland, what is going on? I heard there was some secret clause in his contract. Yeah, I looked into it more deeply. Turns out there was a glitch in the payroll, and he was still getting a paycheck. Okay, so Deshaun Wait a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch, so he won't be receiving a paycheck anymore, so the situation will just work itself out naturally. Trevor Banks Stadium may have been a mistake. Will you ask Doug Peterson and Press Taylor why they keep getting so many delay of game penalties? What are they saying? Delay? They want to know what the delay is. There is no rain delay. Just have Trevor throw the ball. Don't throw the ball. Okay. Especially to Brian Thomas Jr. Don't throw the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. Can we talk about Braylon Allen now? Because he looks great. He's already done more in one game than Delvin Cook did all last year. Yes, that might be the smartest thing Nathaniel Hackett has ever done. I think he still thinks Zach Wilson is his quarterback. So compared to other games, Will Levis was not that bad. The bar is so low, even Bryce Young couldn't walk under it. Well, guys, not everyone can have a Malik Willis. Green Bay, while you're here, let's do the NFC North. Guys, Aiden Hutchinson is winning Defensive Player of the Year. Don't you have bigger things to worry about? Why don't you go throw up on the ball again? Okay, Detroit, you have a healthy David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Yes. And the best O-line in the league. Then why did you have Jared Goff pass 55 times? I'm confused. Then you're probably in the red zone. Did you guys see Kyler had a perfect passer rating and Marvin Harrison Jr. scored 2 touchdowns? I guess you could say it's his job to target him. Guys, Justin had some great throws downfield. If it weren't for the holding. Where was that? In Chicago, am I right? Luke, get out. All right, just a couple more games, guys. Saints, Cowboys. We are so back. Derek Carr has now led a scoring drive on every possession of the 2024 season. Josh McDaniels should be in prison. The Cowboys took such a pounding, Shannon Sharp almost went live on Instagram. Shane, why are you shaking? I don't know if I should target Gerald Everett or Travis Homer. I think we need more tight end screens. Okay, we should be talking about our O-line. Caleb was pressured on 36 of 37 attempts. Bradley would have dropped 8 in coverage. Are we not going to talk about it? Here we go. Another game, the Chiefs get bailed out again. I was going for the ball. Where, in the back of his head? Maybe, don't 3-man rush on 4th and 16. That was a tough call at the end, but I agree with all of you. You do? You do. Clearly, the illegal hands to the face was a game changer. Okay, and lastly, what a comeback by the Falcons. The Eagles are trying to find somebody to blame for the loss. Their defense, Nick Sirianni, Saquon. But do not feel bad for Saquon. He's very used to losing in Philadelphia.
AFC North, we need to talk.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's up?
What the hell is this?
Oh. That. I don't see a problem with it.
Your standings are literally upside down. The 2 teams that people thought might be Super Bowl contenders from this division are both 0-2. What is going on? In our defense, we've both had to play the Chiefs on the road in the first 2 weeks of the season. That's as hard as it gets. Okay, what about the other games?
Well, honestly, I'd rather not talk about it.
You dorks lost to the Patriots and the Raiders.
How embarrassing.
Okay, sorry we can't all have a Charmin soft schedule to open the season. You guys face Kirk Cousins, whose Achilles is held together by Elmer's glue and the power of friendship, and Bo Nix, who's going to be selling used cars with Bryce Young in 2 years.
That's crazy. Imagine criticizing someone for the quality of their wins when you don't have any. What's that saying? Never met a hater doing better than me? Man, reality is going to hit you guys like a truck in a few weeks.
You haven't even hit 20 points in a game yet, and you're relying on a quarterback who wasn't good enough for Chicago.
It's only a matter of time before we catch up to you.
Hey, we're the least of your problems. You got to worry about catching Cleveland first.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize they were here.
Cleveland, why are you being so quiet?
We plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth about what?
We're just going to let the whole process play out before commenting.
What are you talking about? Is this just what happens when Deshaun Watson's your quarterback for long enough? Your entire vocabulary becomes evasive legal jargon?
Oh yeah, Deshaun got accused of doing more weird stuff.
Again? Man, can you guys just get rid of him and go back to being regular losers instead of gross, ignorant losers? It's not even like he's worth it. The dude sucks.
We are going down with this ship.
How very Browns of you.
They're above us in the standings.
Yeah, we need to fix that.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Big Wireless has once again raised their prices. In response, we're bringing back our deflation promotion. The marketing department asked me to be as explicit as possible when explaining it. So, here we go. Because we don't love f***ing our customers over like Big Wireless. We're bringing back our offer for unlimited premium wireless for only $15 a month. F me to the moon and back. That's a great deal. Explicit enough marketing. Recently, and for no reason at all, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous 2-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass? Do you know how big their legal department is, face?" So to recap, Mint is actually lowering prices on every plan to just $15 a month. And I will stay the hell out of the legal department.
The prospect of retirement can be exciting and scary at the same time. At Nest Egg Wealth Advisors, we have found many people either approaching or currently in retirement fail to truly maximize some of the benefits offered to them, primarily Social Security. What is it? How does it work? It's simply not a benefit that you start receiving at age 62. Because these decisions are so important, my firm has assembled an informational packet on Social Security. If you would like a complimentary copy of Social Security Maximization, please give our office a call today at 972-412-6064 or visit us on the web at nesteggadvice.com. Let Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors help you restore your home to its like-new condition. Need a contractor? Let us be your first stop as well as your last. We specialize in everything that others don't, such as stained concrete floors, wood spot repairs on doors and floors, stainless steel spot repairs, anti-slip-on floors, and more. Want to see what kind of work we do? Check out our Facebook page and you can see the craftsmanship you'll receive and expect from Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors. Give Rodney James a call at 214-536-2607. That's 214-536-2607. Or check him out on the web at www.buffalocreekdoorsandfloors.com. misfits.com.
Being taken for a ride? Check out Costo Insurance. Serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance and save a ton. Costo Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CostoInsurance.com, where we always have the coffee pot on. Yeah, but is it fresh?
All right, we are back here on Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, along with the Podfather, who is right there. He is traveling and joining us each and every week. Even hey, that's dedication. I love it. Thank you, Podfather. How you doing out there, my friend? And you're on mute, so let me unmute you. Boom! I can't do it because you unmuted it. You muted it.
I feel better.
Well,
I didn't have any coffee, but hey, you know,
yeah, you know, I'll set ready to go. So, that being said, Cuervo should be back with us in just a moment. He's probably taking care of his coffee like I did. Again, guys, this Bavarian hazelnut cream. Ouch, is that good? Oh, anyway, so that being said, we're going to go into rapid. Yeah, you see, you need to find some. By the way, nice shirt.
Hey,
I like that shirt. It's one of my favorites.
I got a few souvenirs from store.
Yeah, a few. Yeah, that's Dean Fleming's one, right?
Yeah. I heard he made a comeback last month, so good for him.
I heard he did too. I don't know how it went. I haven't been keeping up with that because I got some things in the works. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, with swords?
Yeah.
Oh,
No. I just I'm going to be starting a business probably in mid-October. So.
Okay.
So I'm going to be.
No, I've done my best at distance from wrestling as best I can. I don't want to keep up with it because I don't want to feel the itch to want to go back. And I mean.
What you mean, like most professional wrestlers in their lives?
Oh no, I mean, there's very few I carry over to the Trey McLean account. I never see what's on Trey Mac's account. I mean, I still run an offshoot TV out there, but I never really check it out to see if because a lot of stuff I get is from SOAR. That's just my link to them, whatever. But I mean, it has nothing to do with me. And clearly, they're doing their own thing, and they don't need me. So good for them.
Yep. I understand that. I understand that feeling. So as far as that's concerned, if they'll need you, they'll call you. I guess is what it is.
I will tell one Parker Shanks one thing: you better fix your sound and your audio because those sound really bad. So
there you go.
I'm just throwing it out there. We need to find a way to make that work. Otherwise, what you're putting out there ain't gonna be what the boss wants. And trust me, I know what that feels like.
So, all right, it's week number 3 of the NFL here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. We've gone through a few of them. We talked about the Bears and the Colts and what we thought about that game. We also talked about the Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills, and talked about Browns against the Giants. No one's feeling good. The Cowboys taking on the Baltimore Ravens and the Steelers also, as that is concerned. And we'll go ahead and bring him back on in. It is Cuervo. Good to see you, my friend. Back after that. Did you get an opportunity to listen to that from Annie Agar?
I've watched it before I sent it
you
to
watched
you. I obviously I watched it. Yeah, she gets everybody. You know, she
gets everybody. I wish she would just slow down just a little bit, because sometimes I gotta go back and what'd she say, and I have to go back and watch it. But outside of that, it's
you got to be quick right here. To get all the jokes.
I'm not there yet.
That's all part of her creative, though. So I mean, she puts together. So
yeah, absolutely, and that takes time. By the way, you and I both, me and Trey, know about that. It takes a lot of time for her to do that. So, all right, here are the standings in the bragging rights pick'em show. Bryce on top of that. Podfather Bryce with 24. You're struggling. I'm struggling too. I'm only one game ahead of you, boss man. So this has got to be the week where we take that step forward and start moving back up. And already, based upon some of the picks, there's a few differences between the Podfather and Bryce and ours, Cuervo. So this could be a really good week, or it could be really a bad week about ready to come up here. So, that's where we're at right now. So, all right. That being said, Cuervo, he said we have to go to rapid fire, and he is right. We have to go to rapid fire and talk about the games that are happening for the rest of them, so we can do that and see if there's any interesting things that we can talk about as far as the games are concerned. So, where's my list? Here's my list. All right, so. Let's go to Tennessee at Green Bay. Interesting game because they don't have their quarterback in Green Bay. The game is in Tennessee. The quarterback they do have used to be in Tennessee. And so that being said, Cuervo, Tennessee and Green Bay, what's your take upon what you're seeing as far as that one is concerned?
Yeah, listen. So the way that those ugly green guys won their game last week, it ain't going to happen the same way this week. Malik Willis is going to have to play a little bit of quarterback today, because if you think you're going to just ground and pound on the Tennessee Titans, you might want to think again. That's good defense. That's not the Colts, where they're the second to last, ranked defense in the NFL. Tennessee's much better on defense. So again, Willis is going to actually have to play quarterback today. So with that said, I do think that the Titans still lose today. But I do think it's going to be a really, really, really close game.
So the Titans lose today against the Green Bay Packers. Got it. Right. So you're on. You're on Green Bay. He just hates to say that. Big man up in the right-hand corner, Mr. Trey Mack. What's your take up on this one?
I think the Titans know all about the quarterback for the Packers. I think that's going to be an advantage to them. Titans get their first win of the season. Green Bay is going to struggle this week.
I hope you're right, Trey. I hope you're right.
When you don't have your guy, as far as the Packers are concerned, Jordan Love, 3 to 6 weeks, which I think they probably should lean on the 6 weeks, based upon it is an ankle injury, and that is doing nobody any good in Green Bay. So that I think it's hard to take the Packers when they're not with their guy. Say whatever you want about him. When you got a gunslinger like this guy is, and you don't have him on the football field, just takes away from it. So I'm on the other side. I will not be taking the Green Bay Packers today as well. I'm going Tennessee. So, so that will take us to the next game as the Houston Texans are in Minnesota. By the way, the undefeated Minnesota Vikings go up against Houston today. Cuervo, what you look at? I mean, with the quarterback situation as far as Minnesota is concerned, you still have Justin Jefferson, which, by the way, they've been making it work.
Listen, man, Sam Darnold for MVP, huh? I mean, that guy. I mean, he's been. I don't want to say on fire. But he's playing a lot better than I think most of us expected.
Yes.
So, I mean, for them to play the way they did against the Niners, but then again, it's just something about them playing the Niners in Minnesota. The Niners can't get it done for some reason. But
Niners are banged up too.
Say that one more time.
So the Niners are banged up too. They let on McCaffrey. They might not have Kittle. They don't have.
They won't have Kittle.
And they won't have McCaffrey because he's on the 6th week, and this is only week 2 of that.
Right, but I think the what are they calling this? The Stephon Diggs revenge game, which I think is stupid because he played for another.
He's been there forever, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Either way,
did he play in Buffalo lately?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think that it's going to come down to whose defense will get to the quarterback more, because both teams they do it in different ways, but both teams are really good at getting to the quarterback of the other team. So it's just going to be a matter of who can scheme up better. I tend to lean on Houston getting it done with their edge rushers. On top of that, I think Stroud will do enough to avoid some of that pressure up the middle that Flores likes to throw at other teams. So that said, I think you're looking at maybe a 3 or 6 point game here, but I like Houston to win.
Podfather.
This is one of my spoilers I threw on Facebook. Give me the Vikings to go 3-0 because Houston's good, but I think the league has kind of figured them out a little bit. They're not playing dominant like I thought they would. And I think maybe that has a lot to do with the quarterback. Maybe that has a lot to do with the fact that we've seen this and we not know how to defend it. And honestly, the fact that Sam Darnold doesn't have a lot of tape on him recently, or at least in the last couple of years, it might be a disadvantage. So, give me Minnesota. I mean, it's they're playing in Minnesota, right?
It's in Minnesota.
The game is in Minnesota. Yes.
Yeah. Give me Minnesota.
Now, one thing to keep in mind, Sonny, no Joe Mixon today for the Texans. So,
that's a big loss.
They got Cam Akers starting at running back, and I mean he played for Minnesota, so he kind of knows offensively what they do and whatnot. So that could be a small advantage, but I think they'll be fine with Akers. But I still like Houston.
I think I like Houston too, just more in the fact that I'm just gonna go with the better quarterback. Okay, say whatever you want. I know Justin Jefferson's on there. I love the idea of that. I'm just not gonna buy into the hype that is the renowned quarterback position. That they have now. Like we say it all the time. Sooner or later, they revert back to who they are known to be. And in this case, as the quarterback position for the Vikings are concerned, I think we're going to get a Sam Darnold that is who we know who he is. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I'm not gonna go up on the side of Minnesota. I'm gonna go with the Houston Texans. So next game up on board, the New Orleans Saints pull off the stunner in Dallas. Along with a Michael Jackson crotch grab. They take on the Philadelphia Eagles, which, by the way, had no business losing that game. But guess what? It's a game of inches. It's a game of making the right plays at the right time. Philadelphia just didn't get that done last week. However, this game a little bit different when you're going to take a look at it. So looking at this one, Cuervo, Philadelphia, should they be able to walk in this game? What New Orleans Saints game are we going to get? What do you think, Cuervo?
Well, since we're in rapid fire, I'll make it quick. You want to talk about upset specials? Here's mine right here. I like the Saints to win.
Wow. The Saints over the Philadelphia. No real explanations, just a gut feeling that you're getting? Or
Listen, I like the way that the Saints offense is looking. I kind of wish that the Bears would have hired this guy, Clint Kubiak, as an offensive coordinator, but they went with the more proven Waldron, and now we see what we see. But I just like the way that the Saints offense is clicking in reality. So I'll take the Saints to win.
So you two are on the Saints. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Greg's Eagles. And frankly, I don't really have a clue. I don't know if I trust what I'm seeing from the Saints. Within the first 2 weeks, I don't know if tape will be enough to figure out how the Eagles are going to win. But there's just still something about it. Now, however, you guys laughed at me at the beginning of the season, and I'm going to remind you as well that Jalen Hurts, okay, if he digresses to be that guy from last year, then so far he's not showing that he's taken the step up or was the guy that took him to the Super Bowl. So far he hasn't. Will it happen this week? I don't know. I'm going to kind of plan on it. I like Jalen Hurts. I like what he's able to do from week in to week out. I also like, the defense needs a lot of work, but I think they can step up in this game. But more in the fact that if you're not going to stop David Carr, I just think this is not a good thing for your football team as far as the Eagles are concerned.
Come out. David Carr didn't play anymore. Derek Carr plays.
Derek Carr, yeah. And by the way, both of them have stolen millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Derek Carr's looking good. Derek Carr's looking good though right now. So I mean, look,
right now
he's got a hot
hand
right now, and they're playing in New Orleans. As I said earlier about the Eagles, if they're turning into the Eagles of last year where they lose a little confidence, that's their season. So, and last week was kind of a, holy shit, this happened by Atlanta of all teams. So, we'll see. I mean, again, I have enough on that to sit there and go, the Saints have put up 40 points 2 games in a row. Granted, who they were, doesn't matter. I'm not saying they're going to put up 40 points this week, but I think they'll be in the hunt, and I think they'll definitely win this game, at least by a field goal.
Well, those will always be close. They got the home field 3 points, so that works with it. So, all right. So that also being said, Tampa Bay taking on Denver. I don't think there's too much to talk about this one. More so, I like what we're getting from our boy Baker Mayfield. He's looking like a real quarterback. Now, when I say real quarterback, I'm not saying great quarterback. I'm saying he looks like what he should have looked like when he was with the Browns. And I'm wondering if the Browns are questioning to this day, man, was that a good decision? Cuervo. This one here, it's not confusing me, but you just never know what you're going to get from the NFL week in and week out, especially week number 3. Who do you have in this one?
Yeah, well, it's funny. During the break, I was talking to the wife. Of course, we were talking about her Broncos, and she's just really disappointed in the offense. I mean, that's the bottom line. Is the offense is disappointing. I'm really surprised how bad the line is. Especially with all the money that they invested last year to try and help Russell Wilson get more protection when he was still there, and it just hasn't happened. Mike McGlinchey's hurt for them. Powers is just kind of a guy, as we like to say. And, that offensive line is just, it doesn't look good. Now, that being said, I think Tampa Bay, this is going to be the best defense that Baker Mayfield has gone up against so far this year, because Tampa has played Washington, and who did they beat last week? They beat I can't remember now, but I just know that this is probably the best defense that they've played so far this year. So I think it's going to be tight. I think we're going to see a lot of close games today, but in the end,
Tampa had Detroit last week, didn't they?
They beat Detroit. That's right. That's who they beat in Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
I think the Broncos defense keeps them in this game. But I like Tampa.
Sing the praises of the Broncos while the wife's in the room, right?
I can't let her hear it.
just really confused. So, Godfather, what are you looking at?
Rapid fire, right?
Rapid fire.
Okay, give me the Bucks.
We can
That's rapid fire.
hear.
That's rapid fire, sir.
That's as rapid fire as it gets, but we could hear a little bit about the background.
Okay. I trust Baker Mayfield more than I trust Bo Nix.
That's good. That's not a bad decision. Which one's the better? The better quarterback.
Is Baker Mayfield the Jimmy Garoppolo of today's NFL? I don't know.
Here we go. But Tampa Bay is at home. I'm going to take Tampa Bay as well. I think they just got the better quarterback. Baker Mayfield looks like he's. I hate to say this. Right now, he looks like he's in year 3 of what you would expect a number 1 quarterback to be. And, of course, it's not year 3. So he's slowly – go ahead.
I hope the Buccaneers break out the old orange creams uniforms like they used to have. Because
I love those.
I mean, it's not the better orange team than the Broncos orange, but I still want to see that just because it'd be offsetting to look at.
I don't think they'll be able to do it with the orange. Both of them, which one is which? So, gotcha.
The way the NFL is these days, if you're an away team, you're wearing white. So, I mean, unless you're the Cowboys, so it's different.
I always thought that was interesting. Basketball was at home, and they're in the white, but now they're changing that. I can't even keep up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They have so many uniform choices now.
Raiders and Carolina in Las Vegas. Carolina, is the sewer of the NFL right now. They're not playing good football at all. So, go ahead.
No. I'm just waving my badge.
Oh, okay. So but I just in good conscience seeing what I'm seeing from Bryce Young right now. He's just not good. He needs to show me something. There's no way I can take Carolina.
Well, first of all, Bryce Young's on the bench. You got Andy Dalton starting today.
That's right. Andy Dalton is, and I don't trust that either. It's they have a better opportunity. We'll throw that out there, but that's not enough for me to go ahead and take the stretch and take Carolina. Cuervo.
Yeah, Raiders. I mean, even though Dalton's starting, I still think the rest of that team is bad. So I like
Gardner Minshew, and the
Andy Dalton. I mean, it's 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God.
I mean, it's about the suck, right? So give me the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. It just seems like someone needed a job. Now, this one's got me kind of. I know who I want to go, but I want to get everybody's opinion on Miami and Seattle. In Seattle, I hate the fact that I'm going to pick Geno Smith because I just can't stand the guy. But Miami without their quarterback and their situation is just not good, especially if they can't feed the ball to Tyreek Hill on a consistent level. I don't see how they win this one. So, Podfather, what's your take up on Miami and the Seattle Seahawks?
This would be a different game if Tua was playing, clearly.
I think you're right.
But he's not. So, we're much as I like Seattle more now because Pete Carroll's no longer there. But they're my pick this week. So, God.
Yeah, interesting you say that because I thought Pete Carroll was the only one that could get, something out of their quarterback because he never was able to do so because he's that kind of coach. But now they don't have him. But still, they're not in a bad position right now, Cuervo. As far as today's game, how do you think that plays out?
Yeah, I mean, really, I think it really just comes down to can Seattle slow down Devon A-Chain, the running back? That's what you got to ask yourself. It ain't about Skylar Thompson. Miami's going to game plan around the run game, screen passes, short dump offs, kind of slow him into the role, kind of like what you saw last week with Malik Willis for those ugly green guys.
Which he won, by the way. So there's that.
Say that again, Podfather.
Which which he won last week. So you have to,
Right.
I mean, if it worked, it worked, right? But
yeah, I think it's kind of like a blueprint for if your quarterback goes down and your backup has very little to no game time, just pound the rock, just run the ball, use your running backs.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if any all of that will help, but we'll see how that ends up. So it looks like everybody is on Seattle as far as that one is concerned. So then we go to the Rams. They're at home. They're taking on the San Francisco 49ers. This is an interesting game because depending on what you believed in the hype as far as the Rams are concerned, there was a lot of hype about them maybe being a good football team. I so far have not seen it yet, or enough to where I can think that they can go ahead and beat San Francisco, even with San Francisco having a couple of guys down. I still think as far as the core of the team, there's more starters, that are much better than the other side of it. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going San Francisco. Cuervo, what's your take?
Yeah, this one's tough because both teams are so banged up. With Kittle being out, Debo is still out. I think he's out.
Yeah, he's out.
Let me find out. Let me see if he's out. I can get that real quick.
McCaffrey
go
is
ahead.
out.
I'll let you know about it.
And I think you got your Bosas mixed up, Sonny. Nick Bosa is questionable for the Niners today. That's a big deal.
Well, no, Joey's also with a hip. I was looking at the game.
Yeah,
so,
but he's playing. He's playing.
Well, he's going to play, but how much will it slow? Will he slow down? That's going to be the big question in reality, as far as that's concerned. Now, hold on. I can be. Let's see here. San Francisco. Where is it? Where's the game? It should be right here. There it is. All right. So the injuries as far as San Francisco are concerned. All right, here we go. Injuries are Deebo Samuel is out. So just to let you know, that was updated this morning. Kittle is out. Drake Jackson, defensive lineman, out with a knee. Bosa is questionable with the ribs. That's a breathing thing. Oh my gosh, that bothers me. But I don't know. I mean, now I don't know what it takes, so I'm not going to change it. I don't want to think too much in it. I'm going to stay on the 49ers, but that's a lot of bad injuries on the other side there, Podfather.
It's going to be interesting to see how Mr. Irrelevant does with no stars on his team except for that one receiver that they re-signed recently. But I mean, look, they're playing in LA. San Francisco has a humongous advantage when it comes to crowd popularity out there, and the Rams right now. I mean, are they good? Are they bad? I'm pretty indifferent about them right now. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see the Niners go 2 losses in a row. I would love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see it. But give me the Niners in a close one.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk, I think, is who you're referring to. He should probably have a big game for them to where he's got to throw. Chris Conley, I think, has to show up as well with Deebo Samuel out, unless Ronnie Bell is going to fill that hole. Juan Jennings doesn't impress me at all.
All that is predicated on whether they can run the ball or not, though. If they can't run the ball, they're screwed.
That is a very good Jordan Mason. Listen, he filled in really good in the first week.
Sure did.
He wasn't as great as he was in the first week, but he's still a viable option for them. That's why I'm kind of just staying with. So officially, I'm going 49ers. Officially, Podfather, who are you going to take?
I said the Niners.
I just officially, because we're kind of.
You should listen to the show.
Yeah, I do. I listen to it on Monday after we're done. Cuervo. So are you gonna stay with the 49ers, or are you gonna go the other side?
No, I'm gonna lean Niners. I just think the injuries to the Rams are more impactful than the ones that the Niners have. So, Podfather, who did you have win this game?
I think I picked the Rams.
I think he's going the other side. I think he's going Rams.
I think I picked the Rams.
Maybe
This
Sonny
show,
did it for the fifth time.
Sonny, why don't you ask me one more time?
We go back and forth. I mean, you never know, because on this show, someone would say something right at the end and make me change my pick. So I'm trying to be, political here. All right. By the way, I went dun 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 dun. We got breaking news. Dun 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 dun. There was a Marvin Harris Jr. sighting in the first half of the Arizona Cardinal game last week. The Cardinals have the Detroit Lions in Arizona. Cuervo, does it matter? I mean, because they stopped throwing them the ball after the first half. Are they going to continue with that thinking, or what's your take up on Arizona? Do you feel more excited about Arizona since they're trying to get him the ball?
They should go back to him. I mean, they only drafted him number 4 overall.
They got him for a reason,
right? And so at least for 1 week, things were clicking in Arizona. And yes, Kyler Murray, it is your job to get him the ball. But,
it is your job. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to make sure because I thought I was out of line there. I mean, I know new school and the way they think,
No, that was a dumb thing to say. That was a dumb thing to say.
And that probably got his ass called up to the Bidwell office saying, listen, just so you know, I don't care what your contract says. It is your damn job to give him the ball. And if they did, they need to get their heads examined. Go ahead, Raj. What?
He played you. That's all he did. He plays you. He sells. I'll throw the ball to whoever I want to throw to. Clearly, he knows who he's going to throw the ball to. Okay, that had nothing to do with the upper management. It's the fact that look, he's Kyler Murray. He's his own player. He's his own universe. Okay, so he's going to say shit to get into the media. He's going to say something to get on newspapers. That's all he's doing. He's playing y'all.
Well, hold on. I think I would agree. Listen, I would agree with you if he didn't say dumb shit before.
Listen, this is the equivalent to Donald Trump telling everybody in Springfield, Ohio, they're eating the cats and the dogs. Okay, I mean,
only
it's
problem
just
is I believe he believes that. So
yeah, he does believe that, unfortunately, but it is bad. It's right. Hey, I already told my.
You want to talk loon? Oh my good Lord.
Hey, look, I sat down with my dog. I said, listen, you shit in my house one more time. I'm shipping to Springfield. Don't make me do it.
Yeah. You need to get that little doggy a cage, to where he can roam.
He's in a cage. I call it Shawshank.
Call it Shawshank. That's awful. All right. So that being said, everybody, make your pick. So who are you going to take? Are you going to take Arizona or Detroit today, Podfather?
I want to hear who Cuervo's going to pick.
Cuervo? I think he wants to hang off of him. Listen, I'm Detroit. I ain't falling for it. I'm going to say Kyler Murray goes back to Kyler Murray being Kyler Murray so he could just, say, look, I can do it, and then just go back to his shit. So that's what I say. So I'm on Detroit. So, Cuervo, who you want to go?
Yeah, you want to talk about playing somebody. Watch Kyler Murray go back to not throwing to Marvin Harrison. But you guys thought I was going to
he read the playbook on Madden. That's the playbook. It's the one on Madden that he does.
Yeah, I like Detroit too. I just think they're too good to lose them 2 in a row like that.
In Arizona, tough one, Podfather.
Tough one, Arizona, week 3. Boy, that sounds familiar. Give me Arizona.
Wow, other side. I got news for you. I've been listening to the picks, and I know what I'd pick. Someone's going to have a great week. Someone's going to fall off the face this week because I'm telling you, I don't know. We'll find out. It will be interesting. Kansas City and Atlanta don't have a lot to say about it. But, by the way, it's not in Atlanta. Yeah, it is. It is in Atlanta. Kansas City, are you a believer in Kirk Cousins, Cuervo?
What? With the way that the games went last week, As God is my, you can ask my wife. I told her. So as soon as Barkley dropped that pass and they kicked the field goal, I said, with the way the games have gone this week, I would not be shocked if Cousins goes down, drives, and wins the game on a touchdown. And
That's exactly what he did, by the way.
I'll be damned.
How'd you like that, by the way? Yeah, how'd you like that, Cuervo?
You like that? But no, I like what I like is Patrick Mahomes to go into Atlanta and shut down them Falcon fans up.
Yeah, at home too. And we might have the Kirk Cousins showing of the one that drops the ball, especially in very big time. So, Podfather.
Well, I was conferring with Taylor Swift last night on Instagram.
And what'd she say?
She said you got to go for the Chiefs. It's
Right.
Travis' team, and of course, after she showed me a few nude pics, I decided to go her way. So I'm down with it.
I thought she said lose my number. Didn't Taylor Swift say lose my number? Is that what?
Well listen.
Or how'd you get my number?
Just because she sings songs about people that she's made bad choices on doesn't mean she made a bad choice here. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So
she said, wait, what? I can have some time with the Podfather. Sign me up,
man.
I mean, I'm older. I'm wiser. I know how to throw a chair shot. No problem. Although God damn it, her husband's been in WrestleMania and he got to perform more than I did. So that's not fair.
There you go. So that was the one when they did it in
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philly. So, no, or Kelsey was in. Wasn't he the one? Wasn't that the one when they did it in the Mega House or whatever they called that?
At the Death Star?
Yeah.
No. That was.
Who was that? Got it. All right. So that takes us. So, by the way, I hate, just for the record, I hate 2 NFL football games on Monday night when they start an hour and a half apart. We already talked about the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday night. So the other game, Cincinnati and Washington. Yeah. By the way, just in this game, I just straight up on Cincinnati, but I'm seeing a lot of upset picks, coming from certain people, Cuervo, that they're saying, watch out for this one. This one here is, the trap game for the Bengals. But my only question is, how can you have a trap game when you're 0-2? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, it's more of a trap game for the Commanders than anything else.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Isn't T. Higgins back for Cincinnati?
I can find that out. Let's find out. A 1, a 2, a 3. I'm not sure. Give me a second. I'll find it. But go with your thought.
We only got a few minutes left, Sonny. Either way, I like Cincinnati, but if T. Higgins plays, I like him even more.
All right. So server error. What? Server error in my ass.
No, hey, look. There's no way the Bengals go 0-3. There's no way.
Well, they've done it before.
But they won't do it now.
That's the Podfather's theme today. There's no way, ... And then this team is going to go 0-3, 3-0, whatever. That's Podfather's theme today. There's no way.
Listen, saying I only won 7 games last week, take that for a grain of salt.
I won less, so
I know, so.
Too.
So I couldn't get on. There's something wrong with their server where I get the entry updates. So
their server.
Yeah, well, it's not mine. I'm on the internet. You see me here. But that being said, yeah, I'm on Cincinnati. But man, if they go 0-3, man, will they reevaluate what's going on with the coaching staff or things of that sort? But I don't know how they go 0-3, against. Well, listen, Washington is sneaky good. I'm not saying they're a good football team, but every once in a while in a game, they'll do something that you don't expect. And guess what? Bingo, bongo, bongo. You're trying to figure out how you're going to win a football game against this team. So that, kind of looking at it in that way, in that direction.
Just remember this: they're only 1-1. They're not great. They're only 1-1.
I know.
So-
I'm just saying.
So
I'm just saying. If everything rolls with some of the way people are talking about Washington this year, and even Cuervo mentioned it on the show. Everybody, a couple of weeks back, the expectations
Cuervo
of
likes
Washington
to drink,
are not
sir.
the ones.
Cuervo likes to drink on Sunday. All right. So
Yes,
I do like a nice cold
yes, he
beer on
does.
Sunday.
But he did say that the overall expectations of Washington to be better this year is there, right? Cuervo, you said that, right?
I think there is an expectation that they're going to be better with Dan Quinn as the head coach. But are they going to be a playoff team? No, they're not. So, but I do see improvement happening.
I got 2 words for you: North Turner. North Turner.
Oh God, is that Dan Quinn? He's the next North Turner.
Yes, he's the next North Turner.
Say he's the next North Turner. Yeah,
Yeah. You talk about a kiss of death. That's it right there, Pop.
That's right.
All right.
So that being said, we did rapid fire
it.
really good. We got 4 minutes and we knocked it. We knocked out. We had our fun talking about the Bears and the Jaguars and the Steelers and the Browns. We didn't talk much about the Browns, although I'm telling you right now, watch out for that one. If the Browns lose this football game, there's going to be some heads turning over in Cleveland. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's going to happen. So Thursday night football here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is the Saxony Mustangs taking on the Lakeview Centennial Patriots. Who's Thursday night football game next week? What do you know?
Dallas and the Giants.
Dallas and the Giants
God.
on Thursday night football. Do you want to take a pick at this one there, Cuervo?
Well, maybe for now it's a good thing that I got school Thursday nights, but
there you go.
I definitely think Dallas is going to mop the floor.
Well, I will say this: the last time Dallas went to New York to play the Giants, they beat them 40-0.
Exactly.
And then Dak will be worth all of his money.
and then now when you talk about blowout, that was a blowout.
That's a blowout.
That was a blowout.
That's
yes,
a blowout.
That was a blowout. Yeah, so we can call that one a blowout. So definitely. I wish we get Dollar Bill on. He must be doing something Sunday. But we get Dollar Bill in on.
He's sleeping or going to church. He's sleeping or going to church.
Something like that. But he's got 3 little munchkins and all. So this might be his only day with him. So, but I know. But that being said, that's going to do it for us on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Week 3 in the books as far as predictions. We'll get the Red Zone about ready to kick off in a couple minutes. So that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. We'll check you next week again. Check you Thursday for live play-by-play in-booth action of the Saxony Mustangs and the Lakeview Centennial Patriots. So for all the misfits, including Bryce from Brooklyn, Obi, and one Trey Mack, and the fine co-host of this program, Mr. Cuervo. I am Sonny Clark. Well, Cuervo, you're the MVP. I'm Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio.
Oh, I'm the champion.
Oh, by the way, hold on. I'm not worthy. You are right. You are. But this week with the pick, listen, I listened to these picks and everything. There are so many differences. This is going to be a really interesting week. I can't wait. That's going to do it for us.
I got to get above Bryce, okay? I got to get above Bryce. Because me and him are on the same wavelength. I got to jump him a few times. So that's just how we're at.
You're either going to blow him out of the water or he's going to blow you out of the water, and that means everybody else is, because I'm pretty close to Bryce's picks. So there we go. We're out of here. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.